everyone, and welcome to the pre-show for April 17th, 2020. Why are we dancing?
I'm so excited. Well, I started dancing, and then I realized Jesse doesn't know I'm dancing. If I want us to be a united front, I have to let him know that I'm dancing. But then
Ah,
Right.
there was like a weird like prisoner's dilemma situation where I was like, either I am going to wind up being the only one dancing, we're both going to wind up dancing, or I could stop dancing because I don't want to look silly, and then Jesse might be the only one dancing. I was just delighted that we came into this and both of us were dancing.
Jesse, what's
Well,
your
as a
take on this?
person-
Go ahead.
As a person who studied Prisoner's Dilemma in college and gone through the whole process
Sure.
of that part
Yes.
of philosophy, I realize,
Sure.
as everyone should, that in the Prisoner's Dilemma, your options are either you do or you don't, and then the other person does or they don't. But if you both do, you both sit like, in this case, it was instead of us stonewalling the cops, it was us completely and totally dancing. And I was like, I have to dance because if I don't dance, I could be the one going to
cops
not
win.
cool. No vibe jail. And so I got to dance. I don't want to have that guy come up with his big crazy hair and be like, not a vibe. So I had to dance. I had to dance.
Okay.
I had to.
All right. I'm
The
glad we covered
laws of
that.
Prisoner's Dilemma demanded I do that.
Okay.
So I shall.
All right.
Demanded it.
Jesse, did you actually
Philosophy
study
101.
the philosopher or the prisoner's dilemma? Is this a real thing? Are you not just
Yes,
goofing?
absolutely.
Okay.
I'm not
All right.
not like Prisoner's Dilemma I did when I was going to be a history major, technically I am. I took a lot of classes
You were a
that were
double
like
major, right?
I am history and theater, so that's both useless. So I at the time decided I want to take a bunch of philosophy classes, and I took one that was like the philosophy of war. It was so cool. And so you would take, you had to read about like what is a just war, like that kind of things. And so then you have conversations in class, you debate each other. It was fascinating. And one of the days we had class, it was about like things like tit for tat. Like if I poke Dodger and she pokes me back, what is my next move? And so do I poke her twice? And then if she pokes me twice back, then what do I do to her? And then there was like, what is a rational thinker and what is an irrational thinker? And so it's like, if she pokes me once and I poke her 5 times, I'm technically irrational. Because what I did is like, imagine if that was nukes. Like she bombed me and I was like, okay, I destroy your entire country. Like that's
This is
crazy.
basically the storyline of Tiger King.
Pretty
Oh.
much, really.
Bringing it into
Yeah.
current world events, hot topics.
You're welcome,
That's
chat.
why Dodger's here. That's why
Yeah,
Dodger's
so
here.
I love that stuff. I think it's great. But yeah, Prisoner's Dilemma, all that stuff is like, it's in my wheelhouse of fascinating things. I was like, of course, what would a person do? And it allows me to get in your head. So when we go toe to toe, I can Sun Tzu Art of War you, and I will
Oh.
decimate your family. I will pick the battlefield and wait for my moment.
I took for some reason my high school offered a law class, and I
Ooh.
took it because it gave me like a credit that I needed. And they had all of us put our names into a hat, and there were 2 possible judges, and if your name was drawn, you were a judge. Anybody who knows me really well probably can guess that I would be a terrible judge, and of course my name was drawn. And she was like, if you're a judge, you don't have to do anything. You just have to, like, on the actual day, that's when you have to do all of the work. But up until that point, everybody else is going to be, like, putting together their cases and stuff. And I was like, sick. I don't have to do shit for a couple of days. That's great. And then the day of actual court, it was a nightmare. I pretended that my stomach hurt.
Nice.
Because it went so badly, and the lawyers were just yelling over each other, and the teacher was like, Judge, it's your job to tell
You gotta
them,
slam that gavel, man.
to stay in line. And I was like, it was bad. It was very bad.
Did
for
you
me,
ever watch
so.
like Law and Orders or stuff like that?
I watched CSI because I wanted to be a coroner. So
That's
I was
not
like,
Law and
I'll
Order.
watch
That
the
doesn't help
dead
you.
body ones. No, I didn't watch any of the law ones.
Wait,
I was
hold
like,
on.
I've
Hold
seen-
on. Have you told this you wanted to be a coroner? Is this the thing? Have you
Yeah.
talked about this at length?
Yeah, but you have to do the same amount of school as a doctor, and that shit was not going to happen. So
Wait, they make you go to school for the same amount to deal with dead people? You don't, if you fail, it's like
you're
you can't fuck them up anymore.
See, jokingly, that is also my argument. Is
Yeah.
they're already dead. What am I gonna do? But you have to have the same amount of knowledge of how the body works and what different diseases and things do to the body, because you're not only, popping people open to like be like, oh, I think they died of this, but in many situations it'll be
Fair.
you're you're the person who is corroborating whether or not malpractice happened. You're the person who is corroborating whether or not they were murdered in a certain way, right? And then you have to go like testify in court and know what the fuck you're talking about. You have to do a certain amount of school, and typically it's the same amount of school as a regular doctor, unless you're in
Yeah.
some states where you literally need no degree at all, and you can just call yourself a coroner, which is
What are those
maybe.
states? Like,
I don't know, but I know that
Somewhere,
I
I'm
know
gonna
that there
assume
are some
somewhere in the
states.
middle.
yeah, no,
Somewhere
that's.
in the
I'm
middle.
trying. I'm stopping myself from saying where I think those states may be to try to get an informed opinion on it, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Mm.
It's
I had,
probably
Chat,
those
these are not-
states.
These are not clothes on the floor, chat. This is my child came into my office and I needed to keep her occupied, okay? There's a big blanket because she likes to pretend she's going to bed when she's not going to bed, and then she wants to also put me to bed. And look, there's a lot going on in here sometimes, all right? And I just didn't want to pick it all up.
Yeah. You got a bunch of bomas back there too. I can see. I don't know if that's coming through on
Yeah.
the tiny cam that everyone else is watching, but
Can you tell what that is? Oh god, oh shit.
yep. That's the mirror shades thing that I got made for us on the cast. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got some old like OmoCat fan art. Anybody who buys OmoCat clothing, OmoCat used to just do fan art. So there's that. Yeah, it's a good vibe back there when my child hasn't thrown stuff everywhere. So
Gotcha. Well, we're off to the races already. I should probably introduce the people, but you know who these folks are. It's Jesse Cox and DexBonus. We've been doing different shows together for the better part of, I don't know, 5 years? 8 years? When did we... I know when I first met Dodger and Strippin because we played Wild Star together randomly on stream. That old MMO.
I do remember that.
I remember that. Jesse, when did we first interact with one another? Was it on the co-optional?
Maybe. I don't know. I know. Am I wrong in assuming the first thing we did together was some sort of role-playing thing where I betrayed everyone?
Probably. That makes sense. I think
Maybe?
that was definitely the first thing we worked together on. Yeah.
I actually, JP, I think I met you before WildStar, but it was for
We
a
definitely
split
met.
second.
Yeah. We had definitely interacted before, but that was like the first time where we had.
When you were still doing StarCraft stuff.
Yeah.
When we had like initially met.
Yes.
But that was not like a full-on hangout situation.
It's true.
Chat, I love that YouTuber orgy in 2009. Can I just say for the record? First off, hilarious comment, but also more importantly, I've discovered, in fact, over the years, there are YouTuber orgies, and I am never invited, and it infuriates me. I don't want to go. I feel like I'd be awkward in that situation, but like, at least it's the invitation. At least send me the invite so I can be like, at least they're thinking of me.
Here's the thing: from what I can tell, it's normally
doing
not
a deep dive on
planned,
YouTube orgies.
like event.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
No, you're wrong. You're that one dude who was like part of the thing. I'm not gonna put people on blast, but the one dude who was part of the thing and like got banned from the from being like a YouTuber for a little bit. Apparently, he was throwing him down like crazy, and he was like, "It's drug, sex-filled orgies," and I was like, "Bro,
interesting.
I know you."
How do they not invite the guy to the orgy with Cox in his name? What are they doing?
It's insulting. Here's the thing:
they're really dropping the ball.
Yeah,
or dropping two balls.
Exactly.
I'd be the belle of those balls. I would enjoy the hell out of that. Here's the thing, though. I would also be like, a little awkward because I have to like look at these people the next day. But here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
At least invite me. At least send me the invitation so I can be like, I'm busy that night, but I hope you all have a good time. Send like
I was gonna say
that's
that's like the ultimate confidence boost. I think is to be invited to an orgy and then be like, you know what, I'm busy. Be like, that's right. I turned down an orgy because I was busy.
I would turn down for other reasons. Like I'm not a fan of like, herpes. but
Sure.
I
Sure.
yeah, I just, I want to
You don't need to know
feel
that.
like I would be welcome. Your drug coke orgy. I feel like I would be welcome there. Not they're like, nah, we're good.
We're learning valuable
Yeah.
stuff here today. Jesse Cox, not a
Yeah.
fan of herpes, and Dodger wanted to be a corner.
Yeah.
We're a
Both
hard-hitting
are
podcast.
equal level.
Yeah.
Equal level
Yeah.
of like.
That's
I think
true.
both of those
Yeah.
will be unsurprising.
Those will show up on your wiki, 100%. And it'll have the timestamp to this show, and yeah, it'll be great. People will be able to check that out. Should we run through the rules of the show, or do you guys want to
Oh, God,
have those?
there
Are there rules? I thought that
Oh,
the show was
no.
created so that you had an opportunity for a show with no rules.
Well, things happened on the first episode, and now we have 13 rules.
Do people talk about cocaine and herpes too much?
Yeah, we had to set some
Okay.
borders, but there is a game. We've gamified the rules, so we'll start with
Oh,
that.
okay.
We usually we've done. This is the third episode. The first episode I made up rules as we went. The second episode we only spoke about the rules at the end. The third episode we're going to talk about it at the beginning because why not? I'll read through them here. Feel free to interrupt me and comment on the rules as you want to. Rule number 1: no episode numbers, just show dates. That's why the intro was the show date. Okay, that's rule number 1. Very basic. We start off simple. Rule number 2.
That? Hold on, whoa! Why is that?
Just trying something new.
Lazy, or what was the reasoning?
Just trying something new. You can't
Something
put a
new is
number
just
on everything.
not caring.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It's usually so structured. Now it's just like, oh, this is the show that happened on the 17th of April, on the year 2020.
Sure, all right.
Yeah.
But chat already busted your balls about it. Never mind.
Did they?
I don't need to harp on top because you said in episode 1 we did this, in episode 2 we did this, and so today in episode 3.
Got him.
That's just my own mental
Oh, you already
habits.
broke the rule.
Yeah,
You already broke it. You broke your number one rule. You'd be a
because
terrible
I
Batman.
opened the show with the date. I didn't say welcome to episode 3. That's the thing I have to hit. It has to be the date. I see what you're saying though.
Okay.
I'll only refer to
Shut it
shows
down.
on the date that they happened from now on.
Okay.
We'll put that as the rule subtext, clause A of rule 1. I can't actually alter it. Hold on. One of the mods will take care of that. Mods, take care of the rule. I think they started to change things with it. Let's move on. Rule number 2. No insulting other cast members. This is a positive, feel-good show. All right?
Okay.
Whoa, time out.
All right?
Who came on your show and was like, look at this bitch?
I was gonna say, was that a real problem in episode?
Well,
whatever the day was.
you
of
know,
the
An episode date
Beginning.
number.
If
yeah.
if you've interacted with Gassy Mexican, you know that it's very easy to just rip them apart.
Sure.
You know, it's very easy to just tear into the guy. So we had to set up some
Right.
defenses. Okay,
Or-
that's
or
why that
Gassy.
issues. Yeah,
But if it's so easy, why would you do it?
because it's still funny. That's the worst part. Is it's still funny. It's so easy. It's so easy and it's still funny that it's just a have-to combination.
Sure.
Rule number 3, you make it up as you go along. This could also be rule number 1. Very simple rule. Rule number 4, no gaming conversation. Unless it's something you're super fucking into. Like, you have to talk about it and you don't have any other outlets.
I actually don't think that's gonna be a problem.
Okay, great.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're fine.
Jessup and I haven't talked in a while.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
We good.
Rule number 5, no interrupting. This is going to be even harder on this show because of the fact that we're talking to people
Not
that are on
happening.
the other side of the world, and Jesse Cox, who this program eternally hates. So there's just delays everywhere. So this one will probably be bent this episode. Rule number 6, you can't say that, quote, we're going to save this for a show. There's no saving anything on this for another show. This happens frequently on other episodes of shows that I do. Not episodes, dates of shows that I have done. Let's talk in the way that I'm supposed to. So we can't save it. If you say something, you have to save it. Or you have to say it rather than save it. Okay? I don't think you guys will have a
Okay.
problem with that.
No, we're good.
No hardcore politics. Jesse, I don't want you spouting your politics here. I'm just calling
My
you out
politics?
for no
My
reason.
politics, if I don't want to hear about what you care about, like, I don't even want to hear it. My politics is like, shut up, leave me alone. I'm
Yeah,
out.
yeah. And Dodger, I know you're all about the Queen now in Parliament. I don't want to hear it. Okay, I know you've been taken
But the Queen.
in by the
But
yeah.
got it.
I would actually one day want to hear what actually is going on in the UK when it comes to like what's the sexy redhead prince who ditched with Meghan and they like went to Canada.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what's the
yeah.
real-
They went to Canada,
But
then they left Canada
Is that
again.
now? Is that politics or is that just like the
That's
royals?
pop culture.
That's pop culture, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I do
that's pop
I
culture.
think it's fascinating.
They're figureheads.
Harry, yeah, Prince Harry was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I think that's fascinating. He was like, you giving my wife shit? Bye, bitches.
Yeah.
I think
Which
that's
was
amazing.
Very
I was-
divisive.
They're
Right?
in LA
I'm
now, I
curious
think,
what
as well,
the-
aren't they? They're no longer in Canada. Didn't they move to LA?
I don't know. Are they at the
Uh,
orgies? I would never know because I'm not invited.
They're at the orgies.
Oh,
Oh my god.
That's why you got to be careful.
You
with
know-
yourself.
Are royals of any country able to go to an orgy without somebody finding out about it?
There's-
Yeah, because people die. They'll kill a bitch.
That's true. The
Yeah.
Illuminati
They'll
comes
kill
out and
people.
kills people. It's probably accurate.
God.
I would agree with Jesse here.
Anyways,
Yeah. Anyways, that was dark.
Come
what's the next rule?
Come on.
Rule number 8: you have to explain jokes if a guest does not get it. Makes it even worse. So don't. If you have a joke and a person does not get it,
I'm gonna
it must
pretend
be
I don't get
explained.
any of the jokes.
You
Great.
monster.
Great. Rule number 9: no
Huh?
saying I might have talked about this on another show. Just say it. Let the audience do the work. Okay, so don't hold back. Even if you've talked about it on their channel, or you might feel like you're repeating yourself, don't hold back. Dodger, your hand is raised.
What if I was trying not to interrupt you,
Thank you.
following one of the rules?
Mhm.
What if we're not? We can't remember if we already mentioned it on this show.
Just say it anyways. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Let the audience do the work. That's the important aspect of that rule. Let the audience
Got
do
it.
the work. The next one, it's not going to make much sense to you, but it will once we get to the end of the rules. Rule number 11: no choking on stroopwafels. Okay.
I mean, that's just a life rule. That's like a life lesson.
is.
Swallow those damn things.
Mm-hmm. You
Take sensible bites, swallow them.
Got to be careful
Easy.
with that.
Mm.
Rule number 12: no talk of bodily functions.
What?
I don't know.
Okay.
Especially not other people's bodily functions. I don't know why that came up.
What?
That was the thing. I don't know what
Oddly
happened.
specific rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to end every episode with "Let's get the show started." That's rule number 13.
You have to end it that way.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep. Rule number. Now these are all fucked up because these are in Excel. Let's break this down. These are in an Excel spreadsheet for me. However, the mods have used different rows for the rules, and the way that they want me to order them is by the number of the row. So this is row 15, but I believe it's rule 13, if that makes sense, because it's on row 15, but they've used 2 rows
This is
above.
what happens when you don't number your episodes, dude. Just
Yeah.
letting you know.
Yeah, this is how it's going to go. Any tweet about the pre-show has to use the official hashtag the pre-show, with only the T and the P capitalized, okay? And then the final rule is that there can't be more than 13 rules. And this is where the game comes in. Somewhere throughout the episode, the two of you are allowed to change or remove or alter one rule to whatever you want it to be.
Oh.
I
So,
vote we
the
change
stroopwafel
rule 1.
rule.
What? No.
Well, you've got a
What was
show to
number
think
one?
about it. You can wait till the end. We can talk about
Number
other stuff.
1. Number 1's the easiest one. Start
You can
doing
also-
episode numbers.
You could also remove the rule that says there can only be 13 rules. You can go super
No,
meta
I
with
like
it.
that one. That one seems sensible.
It's going to happen eventually.
Let's revisit this later on.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Anyways, in other news, Dodger, how's London town? How has that been? We've kind of talked about this in private some, and I'm sure you've talked about it at length on your stream, but how's it going in another part of the world after you moved?
It's oddly nostalgic here because the look of it, we're not in like a city. We're kind of outside of a village. So the way that it looks and the overcast, like sometimes rainy feel out here is exactly what Oregon is like.
Oh,
So there's this odd feeling of like, oh, I'm in a new country and a lot of things are different, but also some things are exactly like it was when I was growing up. So it kind of balances out. I feel more comfortable here than I think I would if I had like been born and raised in LA, you know?
sure. So it's like a bizarro Oregon where everyone just talks funny.
Yeah. I was telling Sam that sometimes I walk down the street. Obviously not recently, but
Nice
before
save.
when I would
Nice
like
save.
go
We all
on.
know you're
Yeah.
out there
Thank you,
breaking
thank you, thank
social
you.
distancing rules.
Fuck. Um, I would be on a walk or something with Clark and walk by somebody and they might be on the phone talking, and I would have a split second of, "Oh my god, they have a British accent." And then have to remind myself, right,
What now in
that
terms
makes
of
sense.
dialect? And I'm gonna have to ask you to try to reproduce the accent itself. Does it give away where you live if you talk about what type of accent or dialect or whatever that you're around,
No,
or is it all just mixed?
no, it's like outside of London. So it's an accent that is not extremely like specific,
Okay,
you know? Um, I don't think I could even I
approach it.
can't.
Okay, all right.
It'll just it'll just be, "Oi, oi, matey! Blimey!" etc. Because I can't
If you do that in public,
I try to do it
does Sam just
seriously.
walk away like he doesn't know you? If you do, if you were
I've
to
never
just,
done it in public, but if I
oh,
did, I'm pretty sure I would already be dead, so
you got to
Are you
keep that in your
kidding me?
back
That's
pocket.
why he married her. He heard that voice and was like, baby.
oh my.
Oi, oi! Hey, Sam! It's me, Dodger! He was like,
Oi, oi.
I've never been more aroused. As a
Oh my
proud
God.
Britishman, I've never been more. All right then, let me come into your chimney. I will. And he was like,
Oh my oh,
Oh my God. It's probably true.
baby, you could come into my chimney anytime you like. And that was our first conversation. Jesse was there.
yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
was
He
there.
can
It was
confirm.
great. It was
Gotcha.
so
He
weird.
was there when I
cannot-
first met Sam.
I can't confirm what the hell conversation you guys had. I was too busy with like two Swedes trying to hit on British girls at the time. So I don't know what the hell was going on with you guys.
We have to tell the
Yeah.
story now. Hold on. So this is an actual thing. You're not just making this up. This is the
No.
first time Dodger and Strippin met. You were with two Swedes who were hitting on British women. Is this
The
We
first,
who's telling it? Someone's
I'm
got to
trying
go.
not to break the rules.
Oh, you're
Um,
fine. You're on a delay. Again, we'll have to break a little bit. We'll bend it a
Oh,
little
I'm
bit.
sorry.
There's a little bit of delay.
That's no fun.
Yeah.
Well, when we first came out here, it was Jesse and Happily Aaron and I, and the three of us came out because Jesse and I had been invited to go to a convention. And so we were like, "Oh my gosh, let's just turn it into a thing. We'll just like go and hang out in England." And Aaron's plan was to come with us and just go wherever up until the point that we needed to go to the convention, and then she would go home. So it was the three of us on a chuckle adventure. And at a certain point, we decided, what if we went and visited Yogg's Towers and got to see all of the Yogscast guys?
Ah.
And at the time, Sam was working for Yogs and had started his YouTube channel. So we showed up and we were saying hi to everybody, and Sam was helping out with the shoot that they decided to do while we were in town. Which, if anybody has ever seen a GIF, a classic GIF of Jesse on this side and Simon on the other, and the both of them rubbing their beards on my face, it's from that video. That was the day I met Sam.
Forever remembered.
Yep.
Yep. You know,
Yeah.
there are lots of little good nuggets of moments in that day.
I would assume that photo / GIF ended up at your wedding, right? That was immortalized as you walked down the aisle.
Thank God, no. Thank
You had
God,
both
no.
beards
That's not
actually on the
happening.
sides of the wedding as you two
No.
were married. Yeah.
Yeah, we Simon and I walked her down the aisle on our beards, and we were like sort of it was wild. Her
Ugh.
parents were like, that should have been
Very
us. We were like,
English.
no.
Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah.
It's fine. They'll understand one
but-
day.
Yeah, and then at the end of the day, they asked us to go to dinner, and we went to dinner. And then I remember that Simon went to bed at like 7:30. He's like, "I'm too old for this," and like went to bed. I thought that was really funny. And then everyone else left except for Sam and then two of their interns, who I think were like either Swedish or Norwegian. I can't remember.
Oh.
And
You're watching right now. I'm so sorry.
Apologies.
yeah, we're sorry.
Don't recall
Uh,
exactly.
And so we went to this bar. And the only thing I remember about the bar is that in the bathrooms, I guess either right before we got there or right after we left, at some point, that band Haim, whatever they're called, was going to be playing. And I guess this is before like they made it big. And so I remember that vividly because I saw the posters everywhere. But at a certain point, it was like Dodger and Sam were talking, and then like I kind of like ignored them because the Swedish guys and I were like, there's a lot of beautiful girls here at this place. And so we like attempted and horribly were
Crash
shut
and
down
burn.
by
Okay.
every single. Oh, yes. But whatever Sam and Dodger did at the end of the night, I remember this. I'll remember it forever. Is like as we were leaving, Dodger and Aaron and I were like, I guess we're going to go back to our room. And Sam was like, well, if you need someone to walk you, I'd gladly walk you guys back. And I was like, this mother. Oh, it was immediate. Immediately, I was like, ooh, ooh, you want some of that. So, yeah, and it was very sweet. And then
Very
immediately I
sweet.
heard later that they were like chatting. And I was like, ooh, you got yourself a man. So it was very sweet.
All right. Thank you for regaling us with that tale of how the male model stripping turned into the husbando with a beard.
Yep.
Is it even a beard anymore? Can we classify Sam? It's more just like his hair is all morphed into one thing, right?
His
Like,
hair
it's
is
just
so
one beast.
luxurious.
Yeah?
It's like
Does he
down
use
to
conditioner?
here on him. It's just beautiful. No,
What?
he just washes it with whatever shampoo happens to be in there at the time,
What an
and
asshole.
it's just always beautiful.
Jesse, we got to take
If
him
you want me
down. We got to take
Let
him
me just
down.
say for the record, I don't know how much you've seen of Sam's family, but
Not much.
it's insulting. It's insulting to
He kept me
me
away from him.
every other human being on planet Earth. They're all like beautiful. Even his
Really?
parents are beautiful. Like, I hate them. I truly, in my core, like it's too late for me. Even if I tried, I couldn't ever be like as attractive as they are. I could try, and they'd still be like, better, a little bit better. It's gross. I hate it. Everyone in his family is like, they came out like, hello, everyone. I hate it. Oh, I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, our wedding was described lovingly by someone as a family of high elves and a family of hobbits, like coming together to become one family.
Oh, man.
Just like these 6 foot tall, gorgeous English individuals, and then my family who are all just like, "Hi, we know how to fix a car." Like,
As hobbits do.
that's what it was.
As hobbits, yeah, they're all
Yeah, it was-
mechanics.
It was good.
Yeah. And all of your guests were the dwarves that you hang out. We all showed up like, hello, we're here to drink. And the elves like gracefully proceeded past us. We were just like, you go to the base back there. All right. It was incredible. It was very obvious who was there with Dodger and who was there with Sam. It was so
I agree.
funny. Oh yeah, it was
Oh,
great.
man. Was there a
It's
lot
very
of,
fun,
someone who was supposed to go ended up not going? Was there a lot of because now I'm curious, was there a lot of YouTubers or was it mostly just family or was it a mix? Like what?
It was. I think it was a pretty good. We had like 80 people.
Okay.
So it was a good mix of like Sam's family is already huge, so it was a lot of family, and then some friends.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I think that's probably where we'll end up with.
All I need to know is, at a certain point, I realized that this was the most British function I've ever been to. In that we got there, I think when was the arrival time, dude? It's like 9 a.m., 10 a.m., something like that.
Oh God. Shannon and
Whenever
Chris
you
did that
arrive-
No,
shit
it
for
wasn't
me.
that
Or
early.
for us. It was so early.
It was
Was
let
it a
me just
12-hour
explain to
ordeal?
you- Oh my God, yes.
Because
Let me
Shannon
just
and
explain
Chris
to
was
you what
4
went down.
days
It
of
was
like
long.
8+
It was
hours
like an
each
all-day
day.
thing.
Yeah.
It was first off, it was incredible. It gives me when this happened, I was like, oh my God, I have to like outdo this. When
That's
I
how
get
it
married,
is,
it needs to
yeah.
be on a beach with like a reggae priest and like everyone's barefoot,
we-
and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's gonna be amazing.
Me and Aaron left Shannon and Chris's wedding. We're just like, we have so many ideas. We have to steal all of this. Or like, oh, we could do that, but that type of shit.
Oh my
So,
God.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
the wedding that we wound up not going to was Shannon and Chris's. And I swear to
You kinda
God,
missed
every
out.
single day on Twitter, it was people being like, "Oh, we went horseback riding today, and then we had a 5-star dinner, and it's
We
not
had a
even the
Michelin
wedding."
star
And I was
dinner.
like,
Yeah.
I can't.
Too much.
There was a lot. They had a
Wedding's like an
full-on
in and out affair.
fireworks extravaganza at the end, and
Yeah, that's
yeah.
too
I
much.
cannot even imagine.
We stayed at a castle that's like one of the longest staircases in London or in the UK, and it was
That's too much. That's too. Here's the thing.
there's a lot.
Too much.
There's a lot. Anyways,
But so I don't know what you got to see of your actual like wedding, Dodger, because I know when it comes to a wedding, the people getting married actually don't get to enjoy it that much. You're kind of like, but it was from the moment we left the lodging. I want to say it's a hotel, but it's like also a pub. But from the moment we left there, we all got aboard a double-decker bus, and then
Yes, that
Very-
is true.
okay.
That was my mother-in-law's
very
idea.
English.
we got aboard a double-decker bus, and then all the guys were on the top and all the girls were on the bottom, and they proceeded immediately to pass out champagne. Immediately, the moment we got on, they were like, drink, and we're like, all right. And so you can imagine, it was like myself, trying to remember who was there at the time. I vividly remember my friend Gerard, our friend Gerard was there, and he was like, he's Gerard. So it is, I'm going to say 9 a.m. when they're already offering him a drink, and he has this look in his face that's like, what should I do? I'm like, drink. And so I'm
You're
already
the devil
drinking.
on his shoulder.
Oh, yes. Because in my mind, I'm like, all right, there are a bunch of like gorgeous British men on here, and I have to endear myself to them because someone needs a toady. And once I get in with them, then I'm like drinking for free. And so I like immediately started like kissing every ass on this bus because I was like, I gotta be friends with everyone because that's who I am. And so I started drinking like crazy. We get there, and then there straight up are like rows of more booze. But now it's like fruit flavor booze. So
Yeah.
it's booze that has like raspberries in it, and booze that has
It was
strawberries in it.
It was Pimp Your Prosecco. So there were
Yeah,
drinks, and then
whatever
there
it
were lots
was,
of,
it was-
like there was lots of fruit and stuff around, so you could put things into your drink if you wanted. That's
Fancy.
the idea.
It was great. Yeah, I put in everything. I was like
See-
making cocktails back there.
Uh,
And mind you, this is still, I think, not even noon yet. It's not even noon.
It was,
They're
it was
like-
a long day in that sense. Long drinking day.
Here's the thing.
Well,
I went through like waves of drunkenness over the course of the day. You had time to no longer be drunk, and then you drink again, and you'd be like, all right.
So
It was wild.
now, Jesse, when you were, I have a story to back up what I'm saying. But did you ever make the comment because of the fact that you started drinking at 9 a.m.? This is going to be a long day. Did you ever say anything around that vein of thinking?
I don't think I ever said anything like that. I know I did at one point try to convince Shannon to go in on a idea that I had for push-up boxers. I believe at one point I had a
Okay.
drunken idea where I was like, guys,
It's different.
it's
I guess.
weird that only women have like push-up bras, right? Why aren't there push-up boxers for like, everyone can, you got that bulge in your like the testicles, right? And they were like, what? And I was like, no, hear me out though.
That's a couple champagnes
What
in.
if-
Champagne
I
is
was
in.
like,
Yeah.
guys, what if we did this?
Yeah.
And I didn't let that go. Now, at first it's probably funny.
didn't
12
let it
hours
go.
12 hours in, I was like, I know you have money. You guys are and now I'm definitely like, they're doing 4-day fucking weddings. Now I'm like, I know you guys can
They
help
have
me
the
invest.
money
Yeah.
to jumpstart push-up boxer.
Yeah, they should get it started.
Yeah, I was like, or like maybe cleavage, like ball cleavage.
Mm.
You know how ladies got
Wait a
cleavage?
minute. I have
What-
heard something of you pitch that idea somewhere. Did that
Ball
continue
cleavage,
from the
yeah.
wedding?
That's from the wedding.
Okay,
Yes.
that's okay. I
Yeah,
know the origin now.
and it was an all-day thing that I'm sure was no longer funny 12 hours in, but I was like so wasted. I honestly thought it was a good idea. It is not, by the way. It is not.
It's not a good idea. Don't steal is what Jesse said.
No.
The story behind
Um,
me asking that real quick, then Dodger, by all means, we'll have you share.
No problem.
It was day 4 of the wedding. It was the morning. This was the actual wedding day.
Day 4 of the wedding's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Day 4 of the
It
wedding.
was day 4 of the wedding.
The actual like ceremony. The actual ceremony was happening about 3 hours. It was 9 a.m. I was very tired. That's about like 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. from where I'm normally used to time zone wise. I'm in like a full suit and garb with vest and like dress. I'm a little uncomfortable. I don't like to be dressed up. And I'm standing outside in the courtyard of this crazy hotel where we're all staying. And it's like 80 with a shit ton of humidity. It's very like London weather. So I'm pretty uncomfortable. And I'm standing there, and on the second story of this like boutique hotel where we're staying, I'm seeing all the bridesmaids like running around with chaos, and basically just chaos up above because everyone's trying to get ready for the wedding. Hair is not done. People can't find their shoes. All this nonsense is happening.
Women.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm so fucking uncomfortable. And someone offers me a drink and I say, sure, yeah. So I start drinking at like 9 a.m. And I make the comment to someone, man, this is going to be a really long day. That person leaves. Someone else comes up to me and they're like, well, you're already dressed up. And I go, yeah, it's going to be a long day. Person leaves. Someone else comes up and I go, yeah, I'm like sweating at this point. It's been 20 or 30 minutes in conversation. I said, man, it's going to be a really long day. And out from behind me, I just hear this very British, somewhat older voice go, would you stop fucking saying that on my son's wedding? And I turn around and it's Chris's dad, who's been there the entire time that I've been saying it's going to be a long day.
Oh no.
And I just go, I apologize, sir. And I walked away.
Bud.
Later in the day, the story comes to
Amazing.
fruition that he was just fucking with me. Like, that's just what he does. So I necessarily felt a lot better when he came and said that. But yeah, at the moment, I was just like, oh my God, I'm that person. The air had been sucked out of the whole experience. I thought I was going to be kicked out of London, that I was not going to be able to return. They were going to take my passport. It was very uncomfortable.
You know what just hit me? I just realized, I assume their parents weren't there for the whole 4. I assume like the reason it was 4 days because people flew in from out of the country.
Yeah.
It was like, come hang with us for
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
I got it twisted. There was like a 4-day extravaganza at
Well,
the Queen's Villa. I
and-
was like, oh shit.
And we did the same thing that you guys did, where we went to just hang out. So we left on that Monday and then came back to the States on the following Tuesday. So we were there for 3 days and like,
I mean, if you're gonna fly that long, you
yeah,
should-
we were
might
there
as
for
well.
3
Yeah,
days
yeah,
in
yeah.
proper
Or at least
London.
a
Then we
week,
went
yeah.
we stayed at Chris and Shannon's house one night and then drove to where the wedding was. And yeah, we kind of made like a trip out of it. So
Gotcha. All right.
there was like,
I thought,
was
yeah,
involved.
I had it twisted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
they had like they had their general wedding party, dinner and all that type of stuff. So it was 4 days, but it wasn't necessarily like 4 days where it's full of things. There was, of course, like
So-
all the men went and shot and the ladies went and rode horseback and all that stuff, but that's fine.
Of course.
All the men went and shot.
That's what they did.
Yeah.
I didn't go shooting. I didn't want to be around. I was scared shitless being around a bunch of streamers and YouTubers with guns. That just sounded
Yeah,
like
no,
a
thank
nightmare
you.
to me, so I didn't go. I met them at the pub afterwards.
Good man. Good
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Anyways, Dodger, please, by all means.
I was gonna say two fun like English specific wedding things. Number one, if you have not like signed the papers and stuff yet, you actually are not supposed to allow anyone to drink at your wedding until after you've signed stuff.
So, did you guys have
So-
crazy stuff at your wedding too? Because Shannon and Chris told me about all this crazy stuff that they had to do by law that they couldn't do. Like they had to have someone there from the government in the actual wedding, sitting in a corner to like sign things and write down how things progressed in the wedding itself.
We did not, because keep in mind that our plan was to be living in America for a while longer,
Right.
right? So we had signed papers before ever having the wedding.
Oh, okay.
So technically our wedding was what's called a blessing, which
Right.
is like they're already married. They're already married, but they want to like celebrate it. It's a blessing for their wedding. So we were able to do a bunch of stuff that typically at an English wedding you're not allowed to do, like give everybody alcohol the second they're on a bus to go to a wedding.
Gotcha.
And yeah, we didn't have to have anybody like official there. So that sort of stuff is fun. But yeah, if you're going to be getting married in England, keep in mind you apparently can't give anybody alcohol
Dude,
until after the entire ceremony is done.
There's a lot more stuff that happened. Like Shannon and Chris had to go through a whole fucking thing. If the registrar messed up or Chris or Shannon messed up, yeah, if they messed up, they had to start the whole process over from the very beginning. Like that, you cannot mess up the like whole dialogue, or the registrar will say, "Please restart," and then you just have to restart. It's so much pressure.
Okay.
Like they had all this stuff planned for what they were gonna say, and Chris was gonna like say his vows, and then Chris heard that and he's like, "I'm not doing this shit. Like, let's just make it simple. I'll say I do, and then we'll move forward." Like, that's that.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is that in England they don't really do rehearsals. So the night before in America, typically you do a rehearsal and a rehearsal dinner, which is like everybody who's involved in the actual ceremony sort of like learns what they're supposed to do and in what order. And then everybody will typically like go have dinner or something. That's not really a thing here. So we did, in place of a rehearsal dinner, we did like basically a backyard barbecue at my mother-in-law's house because our families had still never met.
Oh, they didn't meet till the wedding?
Yeah. Like they had like seen each other over video call and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was the first time that our families got to like interact. So we were like, okay, let's just make it super chill. And we'll just like have everybody hang out and there's no press and we're not rehearsing anything and it'll be fine.
Yeah. At Rivendell, his chat has said.
Was it at Rivendell?
Yeah.
Yes, it was at Rivendell. It was very stressful.
They only wanted to eat vegetables and your family was like, what is this?
It was insane.
Garnish? Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Jesus. Yeah.
Let me just reiterate.
Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't even noon, y'all. And we were drank.
Yeah. There was a lot of booze at Shannon and Chris's side. I think that's most weddings though, right? Like, isn't that normal?
I don't think you understand. Let me take you through this. I'm going to get you through this day really quick.
Okay. All
so
right.
we were drinking. We were going crazy. And then they were like, all right, if you would gladly walk out. Actually, we didn't walk. We got in the back of a truck or something. And we're driven out to the middle of the woods. Driven out to the middle of the woods to this beautiful like clearing within the trees. It was like an elf marriage. Y'all have no clue. It was like an elf marriage. And we all sat in these chairs on this clearing that was gorgeous. And there was trees all around us. And then Sam and his like elven family comes in. And they're all in like these gorgeous suits or like military outfits. And they all stand there. And all of his like sisters and all these different people. And then the hobbits arrive.
Are they playing the song? Are they playing the Lord of the Rings?
Yes, Dodger has like
banging music.
Imagine if you will. I've got my little cape on because I didn't want to do a veil, so I wore a cape.
I remember the cape.
My dad and I are the same height. So it's my dad and I like walking, and the second we start walking in view of people, I trip. So just imagine that.
Immediately. I almost
Wait, do
caught it
you
on
fully
film.
fall or is it just like a stumble?
No, but I just stumbled. But it was honestly like the best thing that could have happened because there was so much like
tension,
stress.
Yeah.
And when you just look, chat, if you just trip the second people see you, it's like, well, fuck it.
Everyone's immediately relaxed.
The best way to start it all up. Yeah, everybody's like, oh shit, she almost ate. Man, thank goodness she didn't. Anyway, we're doing a wedding or what? It's great.
I'm about to put you on blast in chat. I just posted
Oh.
a photo.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm gonna show this.
That's us. That's our wedding.
Yeah.
Let me just make
Um,
sure there's no ridiculous comments, so then we'll show this.
There's no ridiculous comments. Everyone's
Yeah.
like, "I love you. You're so cute."
Yeah. Who is this? Is this
Yeah.
one
Look
of
how handsome Sam is.
is this one of
I
Sam's
hate-
family
I
or
hate
no?
it.
Oh, you can't see my cursor. Who's the person standing to the right of Sam in the middle photo over here?
That is one of Sam's best friends. He's a Royal Marine.
Oh, okay. All right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, everyone there it was like they were like, dress this hobbit in your finest gown. And then they got an elvish gown, and then like her hobbit dad like escort. It was a lovely ceremony. It was very sweet. It was incredible to see Sam
Tammy.
almost like Sam,
Mm.
look, there was a brief moment where I almost think I saw Sam almost maybe cry. And I was
Oh, he
I was
probably
there for
definitely
it.
cried. Every groom cries.
It was I don't think he did
No,
because
he
you
didn't
know
cry.
He didn't cry at all.
No, because
no.
no.
Really?
Literally the second I
He
I
cried
gave
at my
my vows
wedding
first, and
with him.
the second I started talking, I was bawling, and I think
Yes,
that
Dodger was done. Yes.
Yeah.
it was terrible. I was like, and I
It was
look up,
so sweet.
and I'm like,
though.
I look up, and he's just like,
You can tell. Look, he was holding it in, and I was like, if I could just live to see him cry once, that would be so nice. If I could
Yeah.
just get that moment.
I think whenever we end up getting married, since we had to cancel ours, I'll probably be
Right.
awful. It'll probably be bad. Like the second she starts crying, and a lot of people will be like, "What the fuck?" JP said, "What the fuck?" Because I'm like usually pretty stoic.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
You love each other. That's very sweet.
Yeah, it'll probably be pretty.
And I'll be there to film it all.
Yeah, yeah. And there's gonna be a bunch of snot. It's gonna be rough.
Yeah. And, so
are either of you guys like typically like criers? Like when you watch like a movie or something, say if you think to yourself a movie that really
I'm
affected
at weird
you.
stuff. Random tangent. Have you seen this Some Good News thing that John Krasinski does?
yes, it's wonderful.
So I'm on there's 3 of them out. Every single one that he's done, it's been like a super tearjerker. Like by the end of that, I'm like, this is fucked up. Like this is such a nice thing that he's doing for these people. This is great. And then I look over at Erin and she's like, pretty good. Goes back to playing Animal Crossing. Like she's not affected by it. However, it's the complete alternative where like, I don't know. Erin will look at the cats and just be like, oh my God, look at the cats. And I'm just like, well, they're fucking weird. What are you talking about? So yeah, we're kind of on other alternate sides, I think.
I'm an extension of you, but I think like a weirder version. Like if something's sad, I don't necessarily cry about its sadness, but I will cry at like the craziest. I think like when I have emotions that are connected to other things and then I'll just lose it. But here's an example. I think because I like hold it in. So like a great example is one moment that I knew I cried that I was like, why am I crying right now? Is at the end of Shawshank Redemption. When he goes and like is on the beach, for some reason I was like,
Love that movie.
he went into the beach and like his friend was there waiting for him.
I get it.
I was like, why is this the thing that got me?
Yeah.
It's insane that it got me, but I'm like,
There's a bunch of movies
waiting for him.
to fit the Lord of the Rings vibe. And one of my mods brought it up. The "You Bow to No One" comment, that one got me
Every
fucking
time.
going.
Every time.
Yeah. That was a bad time in the theater because I was just like, wait a minute, I'm in public. This is fucked up. I can't stop it. He said the nicest thing. Yeah, that one's rough for sure.
Yeah.
Sam will sometimes like I cry at anime a lot.
Sure.
Look, anime is full of all of those, whether it's a fighting anime or a sports anime or whatever. It does a lot of the like, you and I, we're friends and we're in this together and I couldn't be doing this without you. And sometimes, man, when that shit ramps up, I'm like,
for me, I think
they finally learned to trust one another, right? Like I sob.
I think for me, it's the culmination of music with a miraculous event. And when those two things are at like peak, I'm done. Like that's 100% gonna get me
music.
Yeah. Like if it's a crescendo, like
for sure.
there's something that happens in Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is a random scene that really has no
No
impact.
video game talk.
No
I know.
game talk.
I know. I said
No
slightly.
game talk.
Anyways, the music
No game talk.
crescendos, an action scene
No game
happens, and then I'm just like, well,
You know
God
what?
damn it.
I think Dodger's right that there's like I think you said it too, JP. I think it's like a happiness. I don't, sad things don't make me cry. When I have revelations of like, oh my God, like Dodger has seen me at like bad moments, and I was just like, I fucking love you. Like that, like I think that when it's something good, I get emotional about how like genuinely good a thing is, and like how it almost feels undeserving of like, I can't fucking believe it. Like that gets, but if it's like sad, like a genuine sad, I'm like, yeah, all right, that does suck.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I think I'm
But if
with
it's like
you.
a happy
100%
emotion, I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Bunch of people are saying Avengers Endgame. Jesse,
Yo,
when we
I
were
had
in
that.
that,
I was about to mention that.
yeah, when we were in that theater in San Francisco or whatever, that was when those portals fucking open up, man. Or
Dude,
there's multiple
when
things.
I heard like on your loft, honest to God, like one single tear. And the music swelled. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I don't care what you think of that movie. First off, it's amazing. But I don't care what you think of that. That one scene is like the culmination of 20 years. It's crazy.
It was
You're just
good.
like,
Mm.
or 10
Yeah.
years,
10
20
years,
movies.
yeah.
Even just realizing that that so many movies all like pointed toward this exact moment is like,
Yeah.
Got me. I was like, oh,
It was a lot.
get him, Cap.
when I was at
Bastard.
Jesse's house, I tried to watch, Jesse had some screeners, and I tried to watch Joker movie.
Oh God.
And I got
still haven't watched
maybe
it yet.
like, I got 10 minutes in and was like, I am not in the right headspace to watch this movie, and turned it off, and I still have not attempted to watch it again.
You have to like be in the frame of mind to see like, it's not a superhero movie.
It was instantly depressing. It's
That-
like an
yeah.
instantly depressing movie,
I got
and
that
I
from just
don't.
the trailers, and so I've always I own it upstairs. We've got it in all the stupid 4K nonsense, and I can't bring myself to watch it.
It's a movie that is like 95% not Joker. Actually, in that 95%, there's one scene that's like a very Joker scene, and it's actually like,
Mhm.
all right. But the last 5% of the movie is like, oh shit, it's the Joker, which is really cool. But getting there, that ride is like, oh my God, I never actually wanted to know what would cause a person to like
Freak out.
put on clown makeup and murder the hell out of
Right.
people. Like you're like, wow, okay, well, this went to a dark place very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
get
pretty
it.
crazy. I definitely don't recommend it for everyone. But the same thing with have you seen Uncut Gems?
No, but that's also one of those movies
No,
where I
but-
don't want to watch it because I know how anxiety driven it is, and like
Jesse was like, what an incredible movie, but I never ever want to see it again.
Is it
And
so?
that gave me all that
Everyone
I
said
needed
it's
to
like
know.
heart attack, like panic attack inducing because of how
It is.
ridiculous
So-
that movie gets.
It's the premise of Adam Sandler's character is this guy who owns a jewelry store, and it is like everything he's done up to this point in his life, all of the bad choices he makes culminate in like this 2 or 3 day period. Everything comes at him at once. And so it's like, imagine your worst day, but you get to witness it happen to a guy, and it is like crazy because he consistently makes terrible choices. And so you're watching a person make bad choices that you want to scream at the screen. You're like, why are you doing this? And every choice he makes gets worse and worse and worse. And it seems like everyone around him is like a piece of shit. And oh my God, it is like too much. It's almost too much of a movie. Plus, because it's done, and it's like an Annapurna film, it's done in a very like indie style.
Yeah.
So from moment one, the minute the movie starts, the music's like, you're like, oh no, it is like grating on every part of your being. When we went and saw it in the theater, it was like a full crowd, but we were definitely like the youngest people there, which is interesting because we're no longer like 18 or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Right.
through the course of the movie, people like got up and left. I think maybe 15, 20 people left during the course
Really?
of the movie. Yeah, and people
Really?
were
Wow.
not happy. It's like a punch to your stomach the entire film. It's crazy.
Huh.
I can't say that it like I enjoyed it, but I never want to watch it again. It was like, what?
Dang. Dang.
I have like when I'm watching things, obviously not in a cinema because I can't control that, but when I'm watching things by myself, if there's a moment that makes me like say a secondhand embarrassment moment or like a really uncomfortable moment, I'll typically pause it. I'll gauge, right? Like if I don't really give a shit about what's going on in the scene, say it's in the middle of a series and I'm like, I don't really care. I'll redirect my attention to something else until the scene is done and then come back to it, right? But in like a movie, I'll typically pause it and like walk away for a minute or like do something else for a minute because I need a break. I can't imagine being in a movie that
Where you
this
can't
makes you
stop.
uncomfortable literally from beginning to end and not being able to pause it. Like I would probably walk out too.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I've ever like paused a movie because it's been too much. Most of the time I'll just like, also because I have an addiction to my phone, but I'll just pull up my phone and like scroll through Twitter or something like that. I think if I'm like, I think maybe that's me doing what you do with the pause, but not thinking about it. It just happens. But I don't think I've ever like flat out paused a movie from any reason, whether it's like a negative or positive reaction to it. I don't think that's ever happened.
Pause shit all the time. I also have like weird audio things. Do you guys ever? Sam thinks this is the weirdest shit in the world, but if there are two sounds happening at the same time, say that like Sam is playing a video game and then the TV is also on and both are at full volume, I have to either mute one or like leave the room.
See, I'm with Sam on this, but Aaron hates it. Aaron will be like, can we just turn one of these down?
Wait, time out.
She's talking about multiple audio sources at once.
Yeah, I can't do it.
See, I go the polar opposite
really
of
badly.
That. Because I think I have ADD. I've never actually been diagnosed with it, but I go the opposite of that where like I'll have a stream on one monitor that's on my right and a stream on my other monitor that's on my left, and I'll split the audio signals all the way to the right and all the way to the left.
You're a crazy person.
So
no way.
So
That sounds
keep track
maddening.
of both. So
I do definitely have viewers who say that though. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm just watching you and Sam at the same time." I'm like, "Oh, is one of us muted?" No.
Yeah.
Like how?
And then I'll have like I'll have
drive
music
me
at
insane.
like 15% or something behind that. Like I can. There's a lot of audio sources that I can take in at once. I'm not necessarily paying full
barely
attention
focus
to
on
any
one
of them,
thing.
but yeah.
No, that's insane. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I can't do that. If I put on like if I'm playing a game and I put on Netflix, for example,
Yeah.
I turn down the game volume all the way.
Mm.
And I'll just watch. I like have Netflix on as my sound, and I'll just play the game. If I can't, this might go back to the thing that Dodger and I discovered where we don't talk to ourselves.
Oh, internally
Maybe.
in your mental and like in your consciousness.
Do you talk? Do you like
Yeah.
have brain
100%.
conversations?
I will play out full scenarios in my head with multiple parties.
Interesting.
But that's also where a lot of my anxiety comes from. Do you guys have massive amounts of anxiety? Because that's where all
No,
of mine
I've-
comes from. Is just like I'm gonna play out this situation 1,000 times in my head.
I have anxiety in specific moments. I have anxiety about things. Like I hate thinking about taxes. It makes me feel anxious.
Gotcha.
Or like potentially being in certain social situations will make me be like, I don't want to do that. But just like generally, not really.
See,
Right.
but when it, feel free if you don't want to jump into this. I understand. When it comes to taxes, is it just the idea of doing it, or do you play out the scenario of what happens if you don't do the taxes? Because I play out the scenario of if I don't pay my taxes, someone's going to come to my front door. They're going to take me away. I'm going to go to prison. I'm going to have to pay an even bigger fine. I'm not going to see other people for like, I'll go the full. And if I don't know what happens, I'm the idiot that goes to Google and like, what happens if you don't pay your taxes? And I'll read other examples that people have lived through. Yeah. No, it's bad. It's 100% the worst.
How do
things
you
to
live
do.
like that? I can't.
You know,
Oh my God.
I go to therapist once a week. That's how I live with it.
We
Oh
discovered,
yeah,
those who are
go
curious,
therapist.
Yeah.
we discovered I don't know, maybe a month or so ago,
Mm.
we were having this. I think I posted a thing that was like, someone was talking about the conversation they have in their head.
Yeah.
I was like, I've never had this. Is this something people do? Like, I don't know what this means. You talk to yourself in your head? And everyone was like, yeah, of course. Boy, you're weird. And I'm like, wait, what? And Dodger was like, no, I don't talk to myself in my head either. And I was like, is there people
That's-
out there that talk to themselves and then people that don't? And why? I've been obsessed with this. I can't figure
I
out
mean, it
why
is
this
super
is.
interesting.
So-
Like I've never thought of it the other way, where like I've always thought people talk to themselves in their heads, because that's how I am, right? Go ahead.
So it makes me laugh because growing up, when movies would come out like What Women Want, right?
With Mel
This
Gibson.
was the first thing I thought of. Yes. So What Women Want is about a guy who can suddenly read the thoughts of women.
Why? Where?
Right?
Hold on.
Or,
Where
like,
did this?
here's
Where did
their
you pull
thoughts.
this movie? Is this because what made you think of this?
Yes.
This
yes.
was the
Okay.
first thing I thought about. Yes.
I jumped. That's a fucking bizarre movie. First of all, to have in your back pocket. However, I'm very, very familiar with this movie. Don't ask why. It's come on TNT and TBS multiple times, and I've sat through it multiple times. Go ahead.
The reasoning here that it came up will be clear in a second. When I first saw that movie, I was like, this movie doesn't make any sense because nobody actually is thinking words like saying what they want
Yes.
in their head.
Oh, God.
So Mel Gibson wouldn't be hearing anything. He would at most be getting an idea of, did they like it, did they not like it, but that would be like a vague idea. It wouldn't be actual words. Smash cut to like a month ago when everybody in the world is talking about, oh yeah, I say full on sentences to myself in my head. And I was like, I've never done that.
I've actually tried.
Can you actually do it
on-
though? Yeah, like I guess that's my
No,
follow up. Like,
I was having a conversation with someone. I was like, okay, I'm gonna spend the day trying to do this, and I think I was like taking out the garbage at the time. And as I was doing it, I was like trying to make a mental list in my head. I was like, okay, Jesse, this is what you. And I got maybe to, okay, Jesse, this is what you need to, and then I like blanked. It stopped. Like my own brain cut me off from trying to do it. It was like, nah. It was, and I actively was like trying to talk to myself. Even then, when I just did that, when I went like, yes, there was nothing going on up here. It was
I've
just
never
me
even
making
considered
emotion.
that you can't do that. Like, did you happen to find, this is my brain, did you happen to find like any actual scientific reasoning for why this occurs and why this doesn't?
I have theories. I definitely feel like either one, it's attached to things that eventually developed into your personality and like what you like. For example, Dodger is very like emotive and she is like a boisterous personality, and I think I'm pretty much the same way. And I feel like we emote outside rather than put our shit inside. We just say it and things like come out. So if I have like a song, and there's been times where I've dated people or I've like just been hanging out with friends, and I will just start humming to myself. And I know some people probably think the song they're interested in. I'm like,
oh yeah, yeah. I'll get a
And so maybe that's it. I'm also curious. I've always wondered about the types of people that, like anxiety is never an issue that I've really had. Sure, I worry about things, but when people describe anxiety to me, I'm like, oh, I've never felt that.
Yeah.
Same.
And I wonder if it's like, I'm curious if it's, imagine like Dodger, for example, you are short, right? I am fat.
I sure am.
Right. And so I wonder if maybe it's like, nature kind of things. Where it's like maybe at a certain point in time in your life when you were younger, because I feel like anxiety and all that stuff is thinking about a lot of the like outside world coming at you, right?
It's thinking of potential outcomes and playing out situations that doesn't actually
And
benefit anyone.
I wonder if at a certain point when you're younger, if you are short or fat, at some point you like turn off a switch because you just can't take like all these people are thinking about like me externally, and like looking, and then you like turn off a switch, and so you like shut yourself off from it when you're younger. I don't know. Maybe that could
See,
be it as
but
well. I'm
I
no
think
psychologist.
that's
I don't know.
yeah.
I have
I
no
think
clue.
in some cases that's why anxiety at a young age develops, is a way to deal with that, is by, not letting others see that you're dealing with that as a kid or whatever. Because as a kid, you don't know what the fuck's going on in the first place, right? So you develop those habits of like, what happens if I go and do this and I fail? Then you play that out in your head, and then you realize, oh God, if I fail, everyone's going to look at and judge me. So then you like try to excel in that sense. But I understand totally what you're saying, where like there's
like the perfectionism sort of anxiety.
yeah. So I understand what
Yeah.
you're saying, where like it splits, whereas like there's one case in what you and Brooke seem to handle it, and then there's the other cases where I kind of fit into that category. So I get that.
There's like the expectation, right, of like what you're expected, and that puts pressure on you.
Yeah.
And I think if like I wonder if you're a little bit different from the norm, you learn to be like F your expectations, right? But I don't know. That could just be BS, right? That sounds like pseudoscience to me.
Yeah.
So I have no, I don't know. Maybe you're just born as a person who's like, I put my heart on my sleeve and F it. I say everything.
When you guys read a book, how do you function through that? Or is it your voice internally reading that, like sounding the words in your head, or how do you interpret reading a book? Because for me, I'm hearing my voice inside my head read through the book.
So that's the only time I hear a voice, is when I read things.
Huh.
And I don't know if this is accurate for you.
Like words, but
yeah, I don't know if this is accurate for you. I was about to say, I read books in my head like I'm reading them out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Except I'm not verbalizing it. But I don't like what I'm doing is it'd be just like if I then started talking while I was doing it. It isn't like in my head there's scenes playing out. I know everyone's just like, yes, it took me away to a fantasy world. And I can visualize another thing that I think is connected to this. I found out very shortly after this that people in their minds can visualize, they said picture an apple. And some people, they have like a spectrum of like what you could see. Some people saw the outline of an apple, and some people saw the full lush red apple. And I was like, I can see the concept of what an apple is because I know what an apple is, but I don't have a visual like, yes, in my brain, I can see the beautiful. I don't. When I close my eyes, I see closed eyes. I don't see an apple.
Really?
Even if I try, I don't see an apple.
For me, I see a fully realized apple tree with an apple hanging off of it and like things running around the tree. Like I see all that.
No.
Yeah. There was a test that I saw on Twitter that it was something along the lines of imagine that a ball is thrown onto a table and then it falls off the table.
Yeah.
And then you go back to it and you question, like, did you see the person? Was it a person that threw the ball? What did the table look like? Did you see the ball? Did the ball have a color? Where did the ball fall? Did the ball fall onto anything? Was there anything underneath the table? Right? Like, you start asking yourself questions about how descriptive you got in that instant of being told, like, there's a ball that's thrown onto a table and it falls on the floor. Right? And some people are going to literally see like a cinematic masterpiece in their minds.
Right.
And for other people, it's just, you told me that there was a ball that hit a table and then hit the floor. There wasn't anything to imagine.
Huh.
Right? So those are like the two extremes, but there's lots of in the middle bits. So for me, when I'm told this, I can imagine what color the ball was and what the texture of the ball was and stuff, but I'm not seeing it happen.
Is it like you're watching a movie play back in your head then, rather than a real life scene?
No.
There's no images, really.
Oh.
I just know.
That's weird.
I just know what it is that I thought happened. It's so bizarre, like the gradient of how people's minds work.
Yeah.
And a like complete heel turn from what Jesse was saying might be the cause of this sort of stuff is other people have said it might be connected to early man, where at a certain point we didn't have language. And so they, of course, wouldn't have ever spoken to themselves because there wasn't language yet. So whether or not we are showing different types of brain development as like this stage in humanity,
Huh.
which I think is kind of an interesting idea as well.
Yeah,
But also like has no backing either,
yeah,
right? But
it's definitely interesting to
all of that's
jump down that
interesting.
path for sure. Yeah.
I would
Mhm.
love to know the crossover between like creative types
Hmm.
and this event or like event,
This
whatever
is
this
a
is.
replicant test chat.
There's a turtle turned over. No, I
I need to watch that
that's
movie
for the
now.
nerds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I'm curious because a lot of people that I've talked to this to or talked about this with are the people that are like very I don't want to say like musical theater people, but like the openly creatives. The people who are like, "Hello world, it's me." Like those people
Yeah.
are the ones that are in the Dodger Jesse camp. And you would think that the way we're describing it, like these people are emotionless husks, like they're the computer programmers. From what I've seen, it's the exact opposite. The people who are like, I visualize the code in my head. Like those. It's fascinating to me. I'm so curious why this is, but
Yeah. Well,
it's an obsession I have.
I think I've uh, stumbled upon this when dealing with my graphics guy Daniel, who like made this overlay and type of shit. When I go to describe to him what I think something should look like, I know exactly what it should look like in my head, but I can't tell him through typing the words out without sending him like 1,000 words down to like the
A
fucking
novel.
texture of what it looks like. So I've started to just talk in like broad brushes, so to speak, when telling him that stuff. And like, that's how that's worked out, because he can then interpret that and it comes back and says like, hey, does this work? And, I'll say, no, I was envisioning it to look this much. But then that even becomes more complex when it comes to like motion and like motion graphics and intros and whatnot. So far as when I've talked to those people, I just say, I don't care what it looks like, but I just want this thing in it and this thing in it. The rest is up to you. Because if I get in there, it's going to become way too complex. So you take it and do whatever you want with it.
Right.
And that's like generally how almost all the motion stuff is made for the channel. Because I don't want to be involved in that process to that complex of a degree. So, yeah. And it's worked out there. But I also wonder, like, if they being the people that create that type of stuff are able to see that type of stuff fully fleshed out in their heads, or if they have to create it to see it first, where they just like start making something and then they mold that clay into something that they want, rather than, picture something in their head and have that idea be fully fleshed out. I don't know. I've never had the
I
conversation.
love that we got chat like, I see apples.
Talking about this.
I
Yeah.
love that chat is just like in the. If I can make
You
someone
see the ball,
blow
chat?
their
What color
mind,
is the ball?
Yeah.
yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yep.
What? And someone else also brought up the idea of different languages. Do either of you speak a different language, like fully?
No, I wish.
Because that to
Spanglish.
me, yeah, I mean, I can kind of do Spanish somewhat, only because I
Yeah.
took so many years of it in school, but I never like
Right.
type of thing where language, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. But
Mm.
I've always wondered like, I have a handful of friends I have one friend in particular that knows like 8 languages. And I've always asked them, like, when you think, what language do you think in?
Oh, right.
And he goes, I don't know. I just think. And I'm like, well, do these other languages come into play when you're thinking, if you can't find the word fast enough in whatever language you want to? And he goes, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. So, because he's never thought about it. But
I have friends who speak multiple languages who have said that they know that the language has started to solidify with them if they start dreaming in that language.
oh God,
If they're able to
I didn't
dream
consider that.
in a
Yeah.
language that they're learning, then they know that their like comprehension of it is getting pretty advanced.
That's cool.
Jeez.
Mm.
Wait, so another tangent. Do the two of you dream a lot? And if so, do you remember your
Yes.
dreams vividly?
No.
I don't know if I remember them vividly, but I dream a lot. Like I
Mm.
can go to bed
Well, how
and
do you
wake
know if
up
you
2
dream a
hours
lot if you
later
don't
and have
remember
like because I'll wake up and be like, what a messed up dream, and I'll know I had a dream, but like it
Gotcha.
isn't anything that there are very few dreams that stick with me. I'll always wake up and be
Same.
like, that was wild, but I'm never like, It haunts me to this very day. I don't have any of those, but I will dream. People say like your REM sleep has to like kick in. I don't know when mine kicks in, but I will go down and wake up 2 hours later like, man, I gotta go to the bathroom, and have dreamt it felt like for days.
Yeah.
Same.
You
I don't know.
inceptioned
Yes.
yourself then is what happened. As
Yeah,
someone who
I
just
I
recently
have
watched that
long,
movie.
weird dreams. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, I don't know why I'm telling so many high school stories during this 2-hour period, but here we are.
Here we are.
When I was in high school, I took a psychology class, and we were talking about dreams. And our teacher was like, if you have trouble remembering your dreams, typically, try going to sleep and saying to yourself, as you feel yourself dozing off, say to yourself, I will remember my dreams. I will remember my dreams. I will remember my dreams. And she was like, everybody do that and come back. And we'll all talk about whether or not we were able to sort of like psych ourselves out about our like sleep cycles and whether or not we felt like we dreamt more or less or whatever. It messed me up. As I was falling asleep, I was like, I will remember my dreams.
Oh, you
I
did
will
the
remember my
mantra and
dreams. I
kept
will
yourself
remember my
up?
dreams." I didn't keep myself up. Every single time I had like a vivid dream, I woke up. So I had a terrible night's sleep
Oh.
because it felt like I was dreaming, waking up, dreaming, waking up, dreaming, waking up all night. And I could remember all of those dreams, but I was like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I slept like shit. That was awful.
I
Weird.
always end up having dreams that like are either very, very peaceful and wonderful, or like really messed up, and I don't under. I remember a recent one because I just talked about it on a previous podcast, and it was
You
like
breaking
I
rules.
got up.
No, he's explaining it. He's just saying
I'm explaining
yeah.
it. So I'm explaining the reason why I remember it. It's because for goofs we write down dreams that
Yeah.
we have like immediately and try to explain it to people, and so like. I'll end up writing down dreams that when you look at it, you're like, oh, that was neat. But in reality, it's weird. But I had one recently that I think it was because I ate pizza before I went to bed. Pizza dreams are terrifying dreams. Y'all do not eat pizza and go to bed. Pizza
Dairy
dreams
dreams
will
in
mess
general.
you
Don't have dairy
up.
before bed.
Really? What?
They're always terrifying for me. And I always forget because it'll go months and I'll be like, man, I want some pizza, and I'll go to bed and then have the scary. So the dream I had after eating, I ate a slice of pizza and then went to bed. Crazy. The dream I had was I got up.
What is this, college?
Got up, went to go take a shower, closed out the sliding glass doors, went to go close the shower door, and then like pressed up against the window of the shower was like this terrifying face and began to bang on the shower and then broke through and attacked me. And that's when I woke up and was like, oh, I'm never eating pizza again. It was terrifying, y'all.
Jeez.
It was awful.
Now, do you? Was it the
Oh.
type of dream in this? Is it the type of dream where it's so scary when you wake up that you're reluctant to move a lot?
No,
Because I've had
it's
those
just I
type of
woke
dreams
up and
before,
was
and I'm
like,
just like, I need to break myself out of whatever this is and look at my phone or turn on the TV or just do something, or else I'm still essentially dreaming in some version of it. Like it's so vivid in my memory that I'm replaying
I've never
the
had
dream.
dreams affect my reality. Like when I wake up, I'm like, oh, it was a dream. Like I don't even really say that. I wake up and it's like an instant recognition of like, well, that didn't affect me at all.
Yeah.
Although when I was visiting Jesse, we were talking about like weird sleep things that have happened to us before. Mine is that I have dreams all the time where I'm waking up over and over and over again, but I'm never actually awake.
Oh, those are terrible. Those are rough.
It's called false awakening. It's like a branch off of sleep paralysis,
Yeah.
where you in the dream you wake up and you start your day, and at a certain point you wake up again and start your day, and then you wake up again and start your day.
It's Groundhog Day.
And
effect.
so it's
yeah.
So I've had this happen so many times now that I know if I look at my phone to try and see what time it is and I can't read the time, then I'm sleeping still. So
That's
at a
your
certain
totem.
point,
That's your totem.
It's my totem. Yeah. So
It
at a certain
is.
point,
Oh my god. Yes.
Mine is if I
if
can't
I
see
think I
people's
might
faces.
be asleep, I'll just look at my phone.
Yeah. That
Oh,
makes sense.
yeah.
Because I can't. If I look at someone's face and I can't see their face, I know that I'm dreaming. That would be my totem.
I don't know that I think I see faces when I dream. I must.
Do you see like Or are you attributing the fact that like this face is someone I know, not because I see their face, but because my brain is saying that that's this person?
I honestly think that's how I operate most of the time.
Yeah.
Is I know concepts. Like going back to the ball, for example, when Dodger talks about, well, the ball, you bounce on the table and it rolls off. In my mind, I picture probably a red bouncy ball, like a red rubber ball, because it's the thing that has existed in sort of like the cultural ethos. And so I imagine that's what it is. If you were to say, like, well, actually, Jesse, it was a sparkly bouncy ball and you're a fool, I would have been like, well, I would never have seen that coming, because I like didn't process the concept of what it was in some sort of extraordinary, like, well, my mind says it's a pink ball and it's
Yeah.
made of yarn. Like, I never would have thought that, because I'm just like, this is what it is. The trope is this. So my brain's like, whoop. So, and I imagine when I dream, I'm thinking of faces, because I think I see faces, but you're probably right. I know, like, if I had a dream and you were in it, JP, I'd be like, oh, that's JP. And I wouldn't question it. I'm like, oh, that's,
right.
Yeah, that's who
right.
it is.
You don't question who the person is, right? Because
Yeah.
your brain knows inherently, oh, that thing with the beard and weird hair, that's JP. Like, that's who
Sure.
that is. No question, that's him. Yeah.
Have you guys ever lucid dreamed?
Yeah,
No.
a couple times.
No, me neither.
Wait, what do you
It's a
mean?
lot
Yeah, a couple times.
creepy.
You got to tell us. What do you mean? Yeah,
I
a
don't
couple
necessarily
times.
remember them, but I know that I've lucid dreamed. And I think also there's different forms of lucid dreaming as well. So I think there is. This is where maybe I'm not that knowledgeable about it. Explain what you mean from lucid dreaming, and I'll tell you if I have 100% in your
Okay.
version of
Yeah,
lucid
that's
dreaming.
fair. I guess lucid dreaming would refer to any time you're able to exist in the dream and be fully aware that you're in a dream.
And make decisions within the dream?
So that's more what I mean, is like, have you guys ever realized that you're dreaming and been able to change things about the dream at will?
100%. A lot, yeah.
Never.
Yeah, never, not once.
That's why when I false awaken, I just lay in bed, because I'm like,
it's-
fuck it.
You're on like
I'll just wait to wake up.
Yeah, you're on like one of those
I'm on rails.
walking planes in the airport or whatever, where you're just going no matter what, never ends. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I've had nightmares that have been lucid dreams, and it's like you, Brooke, where it restarts and then I go a different path, and those suck, because then it's just reliving the same nightmare, but I go down an alternate path and it's still shit.
Right.
So it doesn't actually improve.
Worst.
Oh, that definitely sounds like anxiety.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
the
100%.
idea of, like,
Yeah.
no matter
It's-
what I do, it's gonna end
yes.
up badly.
Yeah, that's my brain dreaming, in a sense of like it replays
That
those
is
awful
so-
things.
It's so counter to the way I see the world. And I was having a conversation with a friend who has like a very anxiety-driven mind, and he's like, I think of all the things that could go wrong, and I don't know, like, even things that if something happens right, I'm like, it could have gone better. Whenever I do anything, I'm like, all right, well, that worked out. And it could have been like kind of great or super great or
Sure.
not so great, but I'm like, okay. Like if I go to a city, I think even in London, for example, like at first I didn't know London very well. And I just one day got lost. And it was
That's
oh,
a
cool.
nightmare for me.
I was like, oh,
Be
I get to
terrifying.
see things. Neat. I'll find my way home eventually. And I just walked the city. I had no fear of anything. I was just like, oh, neat. What's this? I think it definitely is, like, if I had anxiety, I'd be freaked out the entire time. I can understand why I'd be freaked out. And so if I was with someone who was like, where are we going to go? Like, how are we going to get out of this? I'd be like, shh. Right? Because it would drive me crazy. I'd be like, we'll be fine. This will work out. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Well,
And I think that's an entirely different attitude than I'm learning most people have, apparently.
totally.
Who
Yeah.
knew?
Yeah. I think that there's also there's the type of person that would be like constantly badgering you of like, are we going the right way? Is this the right way? And then there's someone that just keeps all that internal. And I think keeping that
Right.
internal is actually worse for the person, and the person that can kind of express their own anxiety is better in a way. But for the people around them, the person that's expressing their own anxiety sucks. And that's where, more issues come into play. So,
Sure.
yeah. Anyways, I don't know how we got down this whole path of dreams and
I can tell you, Dodger's wedding.
That's
Sam
right.
crying
It's
at Dodger's
that's
wedding.
right. That is
By the
accurate.
way, I'm gonna finish this.
Okay.
I'm getting this story done. It's happening.
Do it.
It's
Do it.
happening. I
Do it.
forgot.
Yes.
Finish it.
So they got married. It was a beautiful ceremony. The elves and the hobbits got together. They got married.
Right.
They take us.
Yep.
via
Elrond was
truck.
there and was the officiant. And,
Elrond was there. Yeah. Gandalf was in the back. Like,
Beautiful.
it was
Yeah.
wonderful.
Fireworks.
And we ended up going back to the cottage, the farm, wherever it was. We go inside, and I believe the first thing we did while we waited for the bride and groom to, like, I don't know, I assume do it or however weddings work.
Right.
And so then we drank coffee and had like nice hors d'oeuvre things, and we sat around and just like chilled. And I believe this is when I still drunkenly was like, let me tell you about balls. Right. And so then we had a lovely dinner. We all sat around, and there was like elf table, hobbit table, dwarf table. And then we all like, we had a little thing. It was lovely. And then this is kind of a whirlwind, so you have to correct me if I'm wrong here, Dukes. We then proceeded to drink more and have another coffee break, then drink more. And then at some point, I'm going to say 8 hours later, it was like 10 p.m. maybe.
Jesus.
At some point, a dude comes in with like a tray of, was it pork? Pulled pork or
More
something?
food. Yeah.
Puts it down on the table, and Sam was like, now this is when it gets good. And I was like, what are you talking about? And just like buff British dude started making like pork sandwiches and going crazy. And at that point, I had been working very hard to ingratiate myself with these British gents, to the point where I was like, you guys drinking? They're like, come drink with us. We like do shots at the bar. I was working it. And so, of course, I had to join them in this endeavor. I don't know when we got out of there, but I was so filled with pork and alcohol that when I got back to the... No, it was a lie. It was a false... It was bad news. because our hotel was... This is England, everyone who's not from England. And it was the summer. And our hotel was just like a rooms above a pub.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
There's no air conditioning.
There's no AC. There's no AC in England.
No AC.
Yeah.
When I got back,
Yeah.
I was drunk and meat sweaty. And I laid on that bed like the pig I had just eaten, and was so gross till like 4 a.m. just like,
Oh, God.
I was a mess.
I had forgotten.
I opened everything.
Dude.
Oh my God.
I had forgotten the entire time at Chris and Shannon's wedding. It was the same thing. Like, they didn't have AC no matter where we went.
Yeah.
And I was just dying. Like, every night I would go to sleep pretty drunk and just sit there and die until I eventually passed out. And then next morning I would just wake up and go do it all over again. Yeah.
Do it all over again.
Morning,
It's tough.
I would say morning is like the prime time, because everything finally cools off for like an hour. You wake up and you're like, why wasn't it this cool the night before? Why is it so hot at night?
Yeah.
Oh, it was,
Yeah.
And then I had to drag my ass down the stairs, hungover, and sitting there having like a nice little cup of coffee, our Dodgers parents. And I'm like, hey guys. Hi guys, what's going on? Burp. Oh, I was ruined. I was a mess.
Yeah.
My dad has been sober for, I want to say, like 15 years now. Congrats, Daddy.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the entire wedding. My dad was just like, well, everybody's acting like quite an idiot, huh?
Yeah. Wedding's got
very funny.
Rough. Yeah. It's got to be a bad time or a hard time.
He had a blast. He had a blast. He just,
okay.
He just
well, that's good.
His back's all messed up. So he just like sat, with his water or whatever, and just, just watched everybody just act a fool. He thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
I'm sure he felt fine in the morning.
Yeah, totally.
You really had a great night's sleep and everything.
There's definitely a lot of drinks at Shannon and Chris's wedding. You got there and you had, oh God, are they hot toddies? Is that like a coffee with alcohol in it? Yeah.
That is the thing, yep.
So that was there when we first got there at 9 a.m., 9:30. Then that lasted until the ceremony, I think at like 11:30. And then immediately after the ceremony, they served some sort of like cocktail. There was 3 different like fruity cocktails. Then we went inside and there was a whole champagne tower. We had champagne, and then and then they had the open bar. So then we started doing that was like shots, and then that was till 5, and then 5 they served dinner, which was wine. And then after wine, we went to the party from 8 to midnight, and that was full on open bar with whatever. And then Shannon, for some reason, got me a bottle of, actually, of that Japanese whiskey, of this, but it was bigger. So me and Gearsart,
Oh, hell yeah.
me, Gearsart, and who else was it? There's a handful of other people, but we basically killed a bottle between the 2 of us.
Incredible.
Then we went home. So, or then we went back to the castle. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of drinking. So.
That already sounds too hard. I'm like,
yeah,
it sounds like too much.
Well, that's why I'm excited for my wedding, mostly because Sam always talks a big game when it comes to drinking, and I've been around Sam when we've had our fair share of drinks, but we've never really been able to settle like who can drink more between the 2 of us.
Here is one thing I will say, JP, is it's not going to be what you think it is, Jesse. What I will say
it's
is
not?
when it's the day of your wedding,
I want to know what Jesse's saying.
You're so stressed out that you actually don't drink very much.
Right.
And sometimes you don't even eat very much because you're just
like
waiting for the other shoe to drop the entire time.
This would be like the day before or
drink
something.
Anything during my wedding. I ate maybe half of my dinner and that was it.
Yeah.
And looking back, I'm like, that was an opportunity to really go hard. It was my wedding, but I just didn't, and neither did Sam. Sam barely drank anything.
I've heard that from a lot of people. Yeah. That's there's just so much stress around the entire thing that you would think that it would be like easy to drink in that situation, but you're stressed because you don't want to be drunk and for something to mess up. Yeah. So I get that. Jesse, what was your story that you were expecting? Because now I'm super curious with how you reacted to what was being told.
I realize now that the internet has doomed me to always think about what I want to say before I say it, because everything can be used against you now.
Yeah.
And I realized what you said is hilarious when you think about it, because you're like, yeah, I mean, the thing I'm looking forward to about my wedding is getting drunk with Sam. And I'm like, and not getting married to your wife?
Sure.
Like,
right. Totally. Yeah. Like
the thing I'm really looking forward to about this whole wedding thing is like bringing my friend Sam over and getting shit-faced.
Again, that comes out. I'm still having the conversation here, but mentally I'm going, well, that's probably going to get clipped and sent to Aaron in about 30 seconds. I'll be watching out for the glare here between the monitors.
Like,
yeah.
What did you say?
Yeah.
It's okay.
For sure.
Then you just have to follow it up with, hey guys, Sam's my wife too. And then it all works out.
Yeah.
That does not save it. That is not. Yeah, you're doomed.
It's fine.
Yeah. It's true.
I just thought it was really funny. He's like, yeah, the thing I'm looking forward to is getting smashed with Sam. And I'm like,
well, before Sam is also,
I know.
I never expected this to be of Sam, but Sam like really wants to go to Vegas before and have like a bachelor. And I'm like, Sam, I'm not he's like, we have to go to Vegas. And I'm like, Sam, we can't.
Sam, stripping. Oh my God. If you need help, I will kidnap this son of a bitch and take it to Vegas.
You can't. Vegas is shut down right now. You can't go to Vegas.
True.
Whenever Vegas opens, I will risk it. I will risk it for this biscuit. My dude, let's do it. That is all.
The only time I have ever been to Vegas, I was pregnant.
Oh.
So.
Ooh. It's a tough time. I don't have good I've been to Vegas 3 or 4 times. Every single one of them was a terrible experience. I did not have a good time. One of them, 2 or 3 of them for work, but apart from that.
What'd you do though?
I mean, 2 of them were for work, and that was when I was kind of an adult. So it was for work, and I basically ended up saying like, I'm not going to work this event. You're all fucking idiots. And then I left, and it was just a bad idea to begin with.
You probably did like. Here's the thing. I was about to say there are 2 types of Vegases, but really there's like 3 types. There's Vegas where you're like, I'm going to lose all my money. Right? And that's dumb.
Right. That's bad Vegas.
And there's Vegas where it's like, I'm going to try and get laid and find crazy boobies. which is dumb. The real Vegas, the Vegas you need to appreciate, is like that, like next level up Vegas, where you end up at some crazy ass restaurant,
Right.
and have like a meal that you definitely
And
shouldn't
I did
ever
enjoy
have.
that side. I went to like STK and yeah, I went to like
Yes.
decent restaurants.
You need to like, but then
Yeah,
like
the food there is incredible.
That aspect, amplify that shit. Come with me on an adventure. Come with me on an adventure. You have no clue. I will take you on an adventure that will not. You won't have to like deal with dudes handing you cards that have like a boob on it, and they're like, call this number. Which, by the way, one time I had a friend who collected all the cards around the city because he wanted to like poke him on it. He thought it was really funny, and we realized afterwards that many of the cards had the exact same name but a different photo. It's like, call Jessica, and every Jessica was like, it was like, but the exact same number, just a different photo. We were like, oh, this is shady. So, you know, all I'm saying is, let me take you on an adventure and get you. You'll be gone.
Have
You'll
you
be gone, JP?
have you heard the stories of DEF CON in Vegas, the hacker convention? Have you heard about any of that?
Oh.
I'm worried.
Those are I've heard some like real crazy shit about that. So they'll do a lot of things. In different convention centers, they will, you just have like giant cardboard cutout things that is advertisements for whatever. They'll do those, but it'll be the type of thing where it says, hold your phone up to this. And when you hold your phone up to the thing, it replicates your SIM card. And then they have like literally everything on that phone in terms of your personal data. And just shit like that, just all over the city. And they don't necessarily crack down on it because they can't, like, it's really hard to, when you're just like putting up a random cardboard that's like, go check out the show at blah, blah, blah. Want more information? Put your phone up here. They do like that type of shit.
They had it happening when an Evo, I think it might have been Evo 2 years ago or last year, I don't know. But when an Evo was going on, they had DEF CON as well.
Oh, God.
And so it was crazy to see all of these like people there to watch the fighting tournament, while at the same time there are people there who were like, hey, yo, fighting tournament person, you want me to mod your controller? You're like, what do you mean? What are you trying to do?
Yeah.
I really hope that there was someone who had like a one button macroed like super controller. Who knows? It was wild. It was so crazy.
Yeah. I just heard like you got to turn your Bluetooth and Wi-Fi off, and yeah, it gets kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I've heard that that's a very small subset of DEF CON. For the most part, DEF CON is just a bunch of fucking nerds going and like trying to do hacking events and compete in that type of shit. But yeah. What were we gonna say, Brooke?
Oh, I was just gonna say, this is another heel turn, but
That's all the show is.
I still really, really want. So when Jesse and I were at Dragon Con one year, we wound up going to a bunch of panels for the what is it called? What's the term for it?
Paranormal, paranatural, whatever.
Paranormal. Yes, the paranormal section of Dragon Con, and we watched some paranormal panels. And Jesse and I were like, oh my God, we need to just go to a paranormal convention one day. And now, it still hasn't happened, but my God, we got to do it.
Are you talking about like ghost hunters type shit?
Kind of, yeah.
People talking about.
We actually sat in
like
on one
Ouija
panel where they
boards
showed
everywhere.
us
Like what?
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
so
all of that,
Con
aliens, like all of that stuff was in one umbrella.
Oh, that's all under
panels.
one. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, Dragon Con has different tracks. Like I think it's fascinating. I actually told PAX they should do this, where they like have a track that's for tabletop and a track that's for a game. Like it's fascinating. If you have the ability, you should do it at your convention. Like label everything you're doing as like, if you enjoy seeing this, here's all the panels that will be about this, and they're all in the same place. Yeah. And so at Dragon Con, the entire basement of one of the hotels is just straight up all paranormal stuff. And so every panel was something paranormal, be it ghosts or UFOs or whatever. And so Dukes and I sat in on 2 before we had to go to a panel of our own. And one of them was like a dude trying to show off his new vampire reality show or whatever. And it was pretty
amazing.
It was
incredible.
But it was like bad in a very funny way. And then another one, and this is my favorite story. I'll never forget this till I die. It was crazy. We sat in on a panel where the topic was, what are ghosts really? And he presented several theories about like what ghosts could be. Everything from like it's, a dead person, to it is straight up just a echo of you from either the past or the future, which is why you don't recognize it. But it could be something. It could be you happening, and like fascinating stuff. But
There
obviously,
are
I'm a skeptic.
dimensional pockets, and like,
Oh
Yeah.
God.
people from alternate realities are able to affect the reality that you're in, and you're seeing the after image of that, like all kinds of
The
stuff.
Nomura plot
We're like,
line
"This is
waiting to happen.
fascinating."
Yeah.
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 I'm a skeptic, so I was like, this is all bullshit. But it was fascinating, and I love watching that kind of stuff. But at the very, very end,
Someone got
The
you.
Q&A section.
he's asking for questions. He has Q&A, and people are, doing the usual Q&A stuff. The very last person to stand up, and Dukes, correct me if I mistake this, goes, so I used to live on a plantation, and at the time, a ghost of an old slave would come and fold my clothes. And we always used to thank this old slave ghost for folding my clothes. And it was pretty interesting. The guy starts talking, and he's like, anything else? And the person goes, well, my aunt got her head cut off and had her heart eaten, and sits down. And
that was
everyone in the
literally the way
room,
that the panel ended.
and the guy goes, all right, well, that's it. Thanks for coming. We're out of time. And everyone in the room stands up to leave, and Dodger and I just look at each other.
What the fuck?
Like, did no one hear that? Did no one hear what just happened?
The way he said it was
Was it
like,
as nonchalant
and
as
thus-
Jesse?
Yes.
yeah. So he's like talking about ghosts and how he believes that the plantation that he grew up on was haunted, and then it seemed to him mentally like he had made the connection there of like, and then this happened to my aunt. My aunt's head got cut off and her heart was eaten. But that was the end of the thought. And Jesse and I were like, by the ghost? Like, what do you mean?
He just said it and then sat down. And the guy was like, all right, well, that's it. Thanks, everybody, for coming. And everyone got up and left. And we were still in there, like, mind blown. After the crowd had left, we were like, what did that person mean? What were they? It was like no one cared that a dude just said, yeah, my aunt had her head cut off and heart eaten. That's the story. Like, what? No one cared.
Jesus.
No one cared. It was wild.
Did the man walk out amongst the crowd, or did he just sit back down and never move? Like, what happened to the man after that?
No,
Was
like,
he the ghost?
no, like the
Yeah.
dude, everyone left. It was the last question. And after he said it, within seconds, they were like, all right, that's it. Thanks, everybody. We're out of time. And everyone filed off and left the room. And Dodger and I sat in there
Well,
just like,
That's not exactly true. It was you and I talking about how fucking wild that panel was. And then maybe like 3 or 4 people that all went to talk to the guy who ran the panel and be like, I've seen ghosts my whole life. Allow me to chronicle every single ghost I've
Oh
ever
my-
seen to
You're
you.
right,
And he was
you're
like,
Oh,
I
boy.
would love that. And us being like, we should go.
Jeez.
it was
But-
crazy. I'll never
That was
forget
the
that.
moment that we
dude was-
decided like we have to go to a paranormal convention someday.
Oh, I'm sure they happen. Yeah.
We have
I mean, there's
to.
a convention for everything. Ultimately, they're all over the place. They were, I should say, not necessarily anymore.
Mm.
This whole conversation begs the question for each of you: do you believe in ghosts?
No. Oh, I don't.
100% no, Jesse.
I don't know.
No.
Dodger's
I,
open to it.
I don't know. I'm open.
I don't
yeah.
believe in ghosts.
I don't know for certain, so I can't say no, I don't believe in ghosts, because like we don't know.
That's me with aliens. Like, aliens, I have to be a fool not to believe there's life in the universe.
Right.
Do I
It's just
think
too
aliens
big.
have visited Earth and like poked people's buttholes? No, I don't. But I feel like there has to be life in the universe. There has to be.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge skeptic. I need like evidence of some sort. And when everyone's like, you just have to believe, I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like, I'll be fine.
Makes sense.
That's just because you are delighted for the opportunity to be an alien pet.
I'm
So you
delighted
figure
for the
if you
opportunity to
don't,
be
if
proven
you don't
wrong.
worry about it, they're gonna show up and be like, "Who wants to be our pet?" And you'll be like, "Me."
You'll raise your hand first, Jesse.
I've said numerous times I'd be the villain in the Matrix. Like, I'm fine with reality being like, yeah, all right, sure. I'll sit here and eat this meat that isn't real, but like, it is real when you think about it. I'm fine being Cypher. I'd be him in a heartbeat.
You're Cypher?
I'd sell you
Okay.
all out. Yeah,
All right.
I'd sell you all out. I'd be like, yeah, go get those guys. What the hell do I care? They're gonna ruin this. This is great.
Yeah.
You know,
If Jesse is
Open your
Cypher
eyes, Jesse.
Dodger, who are
Nah,
you?
I'm good.
Are you the Oracle Dodger? You could be. I think you might be the
Am I the
Oracle.
Oracle?
Maybe.
Oh my god. God, I hope so. She was rad as hell.
She was pretty cool.
Mm.
I don't know who else. Who else?
I need many more children, and they all need to be psychics. But yeah,
That's true. Yeah. Sam would be one of those like vampires in the second one with the dreads. Him and Krendor can be the twin vampires that are
Holy shit.
like super.
We need to get them two weird
Oh my
white
God.
like latex tuxes
Latex
and have
tux,
them run
yeah.
around the street.
yes,
Yep,
amazing.
it's true. I should probably finish that. I've seen that second movie twice now because it comes on TBS at late night. I haven't seen the third
Have you
one.
never seen the third one?
No, I've seen the third one, but not recently. I should probably finish up the third one.
Oh my
No,
god,
you
do
good.
a rewatch. No, do a rewatch.
You good?
Do it.
You don't
And
need
then-
to.
No, I know how
no,
bad the third
do-
one is.
no,
It's just
do a rewatch, and then finish it off with Animatrix.
Animatrix is good though.
Animatrix is great. Exactly.
Well-
so start good, get a little messy in there, and then end good.
Yeah.
Here's the
Animatrix
thing,
happened between like 1 and 2,
I love
right?
the second movie.
The second movie's not bad. It's
The second
just
movie's fun.
it's just compared to the first one.
They're
it's,
all fun. Y'all
Alright.
just haters.
I mean,
Here's the second movie.
I haven't seen the
here's
third
the
one as
thing.
like an adult, so I can't really comment on it. It's been
It's
Everyone-
not good,
15
but it's fun.
years. Yeah.
Everyone, when you left the second movie, had a theory. And what angers me is I feel like it's exactly like the new Star Wars trilogy. After the second movie, everyone was like, all right, here's what I think. And this is why I either love or hate this second movie. And then the third movie comes along and it's like, never mind, it was all trash anyway. That's what sucks. Because I remember leaving the second
Lost.
Matrix movie.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wow.
I remember leaving the second Matrix movie and being like, I think that it's all in another Matrix. Because the things that happen in the second Matrix movie don't make any sense at all, unless you're like, oh,
Right.
it's the whole thing is fake. It's all BS.
A simulation in a simulation, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
because none of it makes any effing sense if you think about it. Like, there's no way. And then when you have like the guys like vis-a-vis indubitably, like that dude, it doesn't make sense. And so I thought like, oh, okay, well, this next movie is gonna blow our minds. Like, don't you get it, man? Like, it wasn't even real, man. Like, and I was ready for it to be like the real world, the outside world is beautiful. It wasn't ever destroyed. That whole story from the first one was a lie. I was ready to have that bomb dropped on us. They were like, no, we're just not creative, and we told you
Keanu's
the
the
truth. I
only
was like,
person who's been asleep the entire time.
There you go. He's the
I hate
test
all those
subject.
fake.
He's subject 0.
made me so mad. And so yeah, that's the kind of vibe that I had going into new Star Wars, which was just like, this last movie sucks and you suck and now I hate life. So that's where I'm at mentally. That's where I'm at mentally right now. Every 20 years, a thing I love comes along that just destroys me because it's like, no. So that's where I'm at
That makes sense.
physically and spiritually.
Have you guys gone and rewatched? And maybe this is a complete normal thing. I'll start with what I've done, and then I can ask you guys if you've done the same.
Sounds good.
I've gone and watched movies since kind of all this coronavirus stuff started that I had only seen when I was like a kid or when I was in high school or when I wasn't necessarily like a fully formed adult brain, essentially. When I didn't critically think or care about movies. So like Top
Sure.
Gun. I went back and watched Top Gun like a month ago. That movie's
That's a great
fucking
movie.
fantastic. Holy shit, it's so
Mhm.
goddamn good on so many levels. It's
Mhm.
like it's infinitely better as an adult than it was as a kid. Whereas a kid, I was just like, "There's planes, look, they're fast," and now I'm like, "No, actually, this movie's great." I've done that. I did that with the Lord of the Rings movies. Fantastic, still, but everyone knows that. That's not a big secret.
I need to do a Lord of the Rings rewatch real bad.
Harry Potter was one that I did as well.
Mhm.
The first 2 Harry Potter movies are fucking bad. They're pretty rough. But after that,
Yes,
they got really
they're
What?
good.
They're
They're
not
so
great.
fun. They're babies.
No, they're so bad. They're not good at all.
They're baby children. I absolutely hated those movies when they came out. I
Yeah?
just want to establish. So
Okay.
I'm yeah.
Wait, like
I-
all the Harry Potter
hated
movies?
them. Yeah, I didn't like any of them because I was that asshole who was like, it's not like the book. I hate it. But going
Oh.
back
Here's what I'll
now
say.
and watching it, I'm like, oh, it's fun. They're cute. Look at these. Look at fucking Daniel Radcliffe before he rode naked on a horse. Adorable.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: the first two suck. That third one is like amazing.
Which one's the
I
third
think-
one? Is that the goblet?
Prisoner of
is that the-
Azkaban.
Oh, that's the prisoner.
Is it? Whatever. They like in the middle get really good, and then towards the end it's kind of like whatever. We just got to wrap this up and like have wizard fights. But in the middle, I was like, holy shit, this is kind of awesome.
Yeah,
But I never read the book, so I don't know any differences.
I never
I'm
did
like,
either.
all right,
I never did either.
yeah.
Jesse, on the
Save yourself.
subject of books, did you see any of the Dune stuff?
Yeah. Oh, here's the thing. I think I've mentioned this before. I've never read Dune, and I until recently never saw the old movie. My first I'm gonna let you all know, guys, I'm weird. The first time I found out about Dune was playing an adult erotica game called Dune on the internet.
Oh,
So
okay.
there you go.
Yeah, sure.
I was like, oh, what's this game? And I played it in the office, and my assistant Kristen was like, what are you playing? I'm like, look at this thing, and we played it together. So there you go.
Makes
But I
sense.
used my mind
Wait,
powers to
at what
bang
point
people.
while playing it were you like, did anybody in your life be like, oh, this is a playoff of Dune?
No, I knew it was Dune, but I never I know the concept
Oh.
of Dune. I'm a nerd. I know what
Okay.
Dune is.
I
I know
was
about
like,
the worms.
how on
and
earth
the-
have you avoided knowing that Dune existed?
No, like I know
until
what Dune
you
is,
played
but I
a
also
porn
have never
game
been
of
like, the movies from like what, the 70s, early 80s. I wasn't
Yeah.
like, oh, I need to watch Dune, and everyone was like, nah, it ain't even like all that. Everyone was like, the books are amazing though. Definitely read the books, and I was like, okay. So I didn't ever actually do that. I do what people do when they say read a book. I'm like, yeah, I'll get on it.
Yeah.
And then I eventually just was like on the internet, like at the office board, and I saw like a link to a thing and was like, what the hell is this? Oh, the art looks good. And so I clicked on it, and the art was lovely. It was dirty, but it was lovely. And then I was like, Kristen, you got to look at this. This is hilarious. And she came in and we played this game. And it's a functioning game. It's like a real game.
When did it
And
come
then I
out?
was like, well,
functioning game.
this game, I don't know. It's like a
Mid
dirty,
90s?
it's like a dirty game.
Oh. Okay.
No, it's not point and click. It's like a point and dick, if you know what I'm saying. And so
Okay.
we sat
All right.
there playing this thing, and I was like, I really need to check out Dune. This is crazy.
Huh.
So then I went and watched
Dune
the
is
movie.
David Lynch.
Yeah, David Lynch
The
made it.
movie was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've
So
never
then-
watched or
How have you not seen it, Jesse?
I've not seen anything
No, I did.
Dune
I've
related.
seen it now.
Like,
I've seen Dune
Oh,
now,
okay.
the movie.
okay.
And I was like, okay, I definitely need to read the books. And then as they were like, oh, I should read the books, they were like, we have a new movie coming out. I was like, I'll see the movie instead.
There you go.
So there I am.
Yeah. I have no idea what Dune is about. I've never sought after the story of Dune. I know the meme, the spice must flow, but I only know is it a meme, not as like what the fuck they're referencing. And I know that there's worms in it, and that's it.
Yeah.
But I'll
I
see
can
it.
tell
Yeah,
you
that's
what
basically
the
me
what
too.
the erotic game told me, but I feel like it's not canon.
Probably isn't. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like it's not canonical.
It's probably not. It's probably not. Well, we should probably finish with these rules and how you guys are going to alter them, and then we'll start the show.
right.
We got to do the rules though, so that's where we'll wrap this up. What do you guys want to do?
I think it should reflect something we talked about today, Jessup, don't you?
Mhm,
Well,
I
you
agree.
both
I
get your
agree.
own rule. It's not like you have to agree on one rule,
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
God.
so you get
Okay.
two rules.
I feel like our rules should go together, though. I feel like our rules should be
Okay.
synergistic.
And the other side of that coin is because of rule 14 that there can't be more than 13 rules. You have to remove a rule.
First off, rule number 1, we should take off, Dukes, immediately.
No episode numbers, just show dates. So we're gonna.
I'm
So
just messing.
well, I mean, we can if you want to do that. That's fine. But then we have to answer the question: is the next episode 1?
Oh my God, that's too confusing. No, I'm all right. We
Okay.
don't need to change
All
that.
right. All right. Up to
What
you.
were our rules again? I forgot.
Is there
90%
a
of
list?
these
Yeah,
rules.
is there a list that we can click?
I can send you a list of the rules that my mods
Yes,
will probably
please.
have to send me here in just a second. Hold on.
That's a problem for the next show. Chad is ruthless.
That's true.
That's not our problem.
Yeah,
That's next
yeah.
show's problem.
I'll just go to the here. I'll just it's being spammed
The
in
rules
chat.
of the show. Here we go. Okay, got it.
Jesse, you got it.
The rules of the show. Yes.
There you go.
Uh, I mean, 1 through 3 are fine.
Okay.
No gaming conversation, I love.
Okay.
No interrupting. I feel like delays happen, so you can't, But I like the idea of no interrupting because it's funny and sets the precedent that, like, hey, don't talk over each other,
Sure.
which I have a problem with.
Yes.
You have to explain jokes if a guest doesn't get it. I think
That
that's
didn't really
great.
come up, but yeah.
I think that's funny.
I think
Yeah.
for the rare instance that it does, it will still be funny.
Don't talk too much about show ideas on the show. 9 1/2.
Oh yeah, there's not. I skipped rule 9.5. Shit, that's right. There is a rule
Cool.
9.5.
So I'm gonna make rule 5.5.
But that means that
You've
there's
already
more than 4.
established
No, it's a
there
half.
already
It
was
is-
because
is
there's
a
a
half,
9.5
though.
there.
It
Just
is
a half.
maybe
Yeah.
we all go into halvesies in different in fractions.
All right, what is your rule?
Rule 5.5.
Rule 5.5. Every person on the show must list a movie that made them cry.
Okay.
In their introduction.
In their
First thing
introduction.
out the gate.
Okay. In
First
the
thing out the gate,
introduction.
they have to say what movie made them cry.
Jesse, you had Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank Redemption got me, yeah. But
What
a lot
was-
of movies get me.
Dodger, since you're implementing the rule, you have to answer it.
Oh shit. All movies? Can I say Haikyuu? It's an anime. Does that count?
Yeah, sure.
I'm already ruining my own rule.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm trying to think of the most recent one. What have I watched recently? I don't know. I'll think about it and come back to it.
Cool.
Jesse, your rule?
I feel like my rule will be trying to figure. I want to take away a rule. I want to destroy someone's rule. I want rule 9 3/4.
9 3/4. Okay.
Yes, and I want it to be any conversation about Harry Potter must admit the first 2 movies are bad.
No!
Now, what if but essentially what you're saying is that the first 2 movies of Harry Potter are bad and everyone must just move on, right? Because like,
Yes,
how do
yes,
they
that's
admit
what I'm
to
saying.
it? Okay.
Betrothed is in chat right now, so mad at you.
I'm aware. Oh, I know. That's why I did it.
They have an entire guest room that is Harry Potter themed, Jesse.
We do actually have
Can't
that.
do this to him.
We also
He'll
haven't
get
opened
kicked
that.
out of his own house.
Actually, we haven't opened that door since February. I don't know what's going on in that room.
Might go to the train station then.
Yeah, like who knows what's happened in that room? It's been closed for 2 months. Erin says no. Apparently, she goes in that room multiple times throughout the day. Lives out her
Fine.
dream.
All
I don't
right.
know.
We won't do that.
Okay.
All right. Rule number 2.5.
2.5.
Yes. Before the show ends, you must say something wonderful about the other people on the show with you.
Aw, cute.
Oh, okay. I'm into it. I think maybe this prompts a new rule, but I'm in agreement with, as you introduce a rule, you must adhere to the rule on the same show.
Sure. Yeah. Of course.
Okay.
Obviously.
Correct.
Please.
Yeah. So I don't know what, maybe that's.
I have nothing nice to say about Jesse.
Yeah. I think it should, keep it positive. So 2.5 is when you end the show, you have to say something nice about the people that were on it with you.
That were on it with you. Okay. Now, do we do this during shout outs or do we do it before shout outs?
I think it's during your shout out. Rule 2.5.
Okay.
I want to change this.
All right.
Rule
change it up.
2.5. During your shout out, you have to promote the other people.
Oh, this has been a favorite goof of mine from technical issues, but
Ooh.
During your shout out, in 2.5, during your shout out, you have to, with the same good vibes, promote why someone should watch the other people on the show with you.
okay.
I like it.
All right. So how does Jesse? Whose shout outs would you like? I guess we just leave this up to choice. Who's are you
Both
doing?
of you.
Oh,
You
you're doing.
literally are just saying why you would watch the other two people that are on the show with you.
Oh, so you're
But-
still
but
doing your
J-
shout out card, but you're shouting out the other two people.
Yes.
Is that right, Dodger? What is that?
Yes.
What were we gonna say?
What? I don't get it. You guys go first. I don't get it.
Jesse, as the creator of the rule, please do some shout outs for us.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be on this show with these two amazing people. Dodger is phenomenal. She plays amazing indie games and is just a little ball of energy. And I think she's incredible. And
Aw.
if you are not following her and watching her, she is so in love with her community. And I know that at the end she does like insane shout outs to literally every person that comes in and like subs or follows or whatever the hell she does anymore. And she also let me ruin her wedding a little bit. So I'm really thrilled to know her. JP, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, like runs everything like a champion. This show and my show that is the Star Wars show that we do on his channel, and literally does drop frames and somehow convinced a woman to like marry him. It's wild. He does everything. The man plays games when he's not hosting stuff, and he is involved in a million things. And I'm sure you all know that because you're here right now. You know how great he is. Bam! That's how it's done, people.
Okay.
Promote everyone but yourself.
Got it. Dodger, you understand the rule?
I get it now.
All right, please do some shout outs for us.
Okay. I have known both of these lovely gentlemen for a very, very long time. They are two of the hardest workers that I have ever met in my entire life. JP has always been so wonderful and welcoming. Sam and I have been invited to his home many a time for work and for just chills, and it's always wonderful. Yeah, he's got his finger in many, many pies, works his butt off. Jessup can make you laugh at any moment, at any time. And both of them, honestly, lovely, lovely people to talk to. I know that these things don't necessarily matter for their content. These they're great friends of mine sort of things. But in case you've ever wondered whether or not they are both extremely genuine on and off camera, they are. They're wonderful humans and they deserve all the love.
See, look how easy
Thumbs
that
up.
is.
Feels
Now you're probably
privileged.
saying to yourself, Jesse, why would you do this? Why would you make this happen? Well, so I want to see JP do this. Really, I know Dodger would do this easy.
Well, here's
I want to see JP do this week in and week out and
Oh,
constantly
that's
praise
right.
other people.
That's true. The issue, I don't have a shout out card, so I just have to remain on this card. As someone who makes shout out cards.
Damn.
Make
You
one
need
for
a
me.
shout out card for yourself.
I don't do normally. I do shout outs after the stream. It's just how we've always done it. But I will partake in your rule, Jesse. Jesse Cox is the content creator that's ride or die. He's 100% always in if you ask him to be in. That's why I love working with Jesse, because you hit him up on something before you finish the statement or the ask, he's already signed on. In his head, he's already thinking about how to improve the subject matter or the show or whatever. And that's why Jesse's been a thrill to work with in the past. I don't know how many years it's been, 4 or 5 years or something like that, whenever it was that we started. So that's awesome stuff. And Dodger is the person that also says yes, but she says it because she just wants you to succeed. And that's why working with Dodger is awesome. Because she's just is there. She's always on board. She's always into it and gives it 100%, regardless of what the subject matter is, especially when you approach her and says, hey, do you want to come on a show with no plans? She was 100% on board. She was great.
Definitely.
She's super about that. And it's been
also
an awesome time working with them
thing.
the past couple of years. Go ahead. Don't interrupt.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
JP gave me my first opportunity to DM.
There you go.
And I've DM'd twice. The only 2 times that I've ever DM'd have been on JP's channel.
That's true. You're welcome back. If you ever want to do more shows, just let me know.
I'm currently planning one for Sam's parents to do.
Oh boy.
Very excited. I'll let you guys know how that goes.
Have you started playing? Well, I guess your daughter's still pretty young. She's probably not super into the idea
She's
of
too
playing
young.
D&D. Yeah.
She's too young.
The
Is
Yeah.
Peppa Pig D&D is on the way though. It's happening.
Yeah.
I'm already building it.
Okay. All right. I guess that's also, we could use this as some shameless promotion. Dikea 3 is happening at the end of this month on the
Oh my god.
27th. I think it's 6 p.m. Eastern. Dikea is a thing. It's Jesse, it's Dodger, it's Krendor. And since I've already been submitted to 8 hours of Krendor, we're gonna let Aaron step in
No
in my
way.
place. And Aaron's gonna be
Amazing.
the fourth member joining Strippin on the show for an episode of Dikea. I'm going to take a second to look at the name of this because it was as ridiculous as you're expecting.
Do you have the description that you messaged me?
Yeah,
the
that Fox
description you
messaged me. Yeah,
messaged me
we'll
is-
read it. Here it is.
Crazy.
Here it is. Dikea 3 Buff Door Edition is the name. The description for the show happening Monday, April 27th at 6 p.m. Eastern. Years have passed since the previous Dikea incidents, and much has changed. Mutations have taken their toll on the surrounding area, and this time, strength will be critical. Do you rely on magic and wit, or show the inhabitants that you do, in fact, lift bro?
I hate
Oh my
I
god.
hate that this man's whole persona has become about him being buffed. I hate it. I hate it. It's deep within my soul. I hate that, like, he actually is buff.
Yeah.
It grosses me out on a personal level. I hate it.
Gross.
It makes me so mad that now literally I'll have conversations with him and he'll say stuff like, I wish I was at the gym. I hate him. I hate him.
He's become that which you hate, you know?
Oh, God.
I'm sure
Oh
there were
my God.
conversations between you and Krendor where you talked about, God, I hate the gym rats, man. These guys are the worst. And then he became that, you know?
He is. He is. He does things that
He thrives on regularity.
Hmm.
And
Did I
so the
tell
gym
you-
became part of his regular life.
Sure.
Did I tell you? He'll say stuff. He'll be like, yeah, so I went to the gym and I got a trainer. I'm like, oh, yeah, how's that going? He's like, oh, I only used her for a day. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I learned what I needed to do and I just did it myself.
And drop the trainer. Yeah.
Drop
It's
the
smart. It's
then he's-
economical. You know, it's tough out there right now. You got to.
And then he'll rehire a trainer to learn new things and then fire them immediately. And I'm like, who are.
It's
Amazing.
genius. It's genius. All right, that's it. So that'll be on the 27th of this month at 6 p.m. Eastern. Erin signed on board. I don't think she has any idea what. She was like, so do I need to like make a character? No, just don't. Just show up.
No,
You
don't
there's-
bother.
There's not. You can't prep. You can't. You show up. I'll send you a camera link, and you'll just do the show.
I'm so sorry. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry you got dragged into this.
Yeah.
I was killed by a candle man.
Dude, I think I've blocked out what happened. I died at the end of the second one, right?
A giant
Yeah.
meatball killed me in one of them. Like a giant Swedish meatball ate me.
I thought all of us except one
think-
of us died.
I think everyone died, but you.
Everyone died at the end of the first one. And then
All,
the second one,
all
I
I
thought one
remember
person
is
lived.
one of them was like, we all randomed for what we were going to get.
I got like a
And all my
godly
abilities
power.
were like, you're made of paper. You have no attack power. When you attack, you like fall apart. And Dodger's is like, plus 23 dexterity. Also, you throw fireballs. Like Dodger made the perfect character, and I was like, my life is pain. Everything
Yeah.
I do is pain.
Oh, you played that dumb fox
That's
character,
right.
didn't you? Or was
I think I was a badger or something.
yeah, you were the
He
crazy
was like a badger.
Yeah.
And literally, we like went off to try and do something, and Jesse was like, "Nope, I'm just gonna stay here." Didn't come with us for a big portion.
I
Yeah.
couldn't do anything. Everything about I would immediately die. Literally everything
yeah.
I rolled was like, I just want to die. Oh,
That's right. You were doing the droopy voice for the badger.
Yes, 'cause-
okay.
all my rolls were like, my character exists in a constant state of pain. I don't want to live. This sucks. Oh, it was bad.
Yeah.
What a bad time.
I think I also rolled really good mutations as well. Like I think I could just make things happen with my mind, or I could create stuff on. I don't know. I had some like really stupid mutate. It's gonna be a shit show. Watch that on the 27th, 10 days from this at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, it'll be an event. You'll walk away being like, were there rules? What's the
How was that game played?
how are they rolling?
We don't know.
We don't know. The Crandor just says make some rolls. I don't know. That's what happens. But I'm not I'm a part of it in the sense that I'll be there and maybe I'll be talking as like voice of God style stuff, but I'm not playing it at this time. So
Gotcha.
yeah. Anyways, that's it. Thanks everyone for watching the pre-show. We got to start the show. Thank you for your two rules to recap. Oh God, rule 2.5. Everyone must say something nice about the people on the show with you. And Dodgers was 5.5. Everyone must say a movie that made them cry.
You have to say it nice when you're doing your shout outs to yourself at the end.
Before the show ends, you must say something wonderful about the people on the show with you, is the rule. But we'll go back and clarify during the shout outs. Yeah. All right, that's it. Thanks everyone for watching the pre-show. We got to get started with the real show now.
Thanks,
See you next
guys.
time. Bye.